What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Give yourself a round of applause tonight. We got a little something, a little unique something going on. Let's give Cleavon a round of applause for paying off his debts. You see, guys, I got my full moon here with the chow chow. They shorted me. I went somewhere different, Cleavon. They shorted me on my chow chow, my relish based. You guys see it. You guys see it. My relish based sauce for the barbecue. You guys can see it as I'm topping it on there. I just wanted to give you guys kind of a look, make my sandwich here while we get the show started, fans. Each and every week, man. Cleavon, well, I got full moon tonight. What's the occasion?
Yeah, because Michael Porter Jr. had a lot of off the court incidents.
Oh, is that we look at this guy.
And the Denver Nuggets couldn't, hold serve at home in Game 7 and lost in the second round of the Western Conference playoffs.
Well, while I enjoy my full moon, because Cleavon was wrong, pretty much is what he did want to say. He want to blame other people. Why he was wrong, I'm gonna let our show intro get started. Here we go, fans. Thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast, and here's how we get the show started each and every week.
Am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name
Cameron.
is
Cam Buford. Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford.
You got some good questions today.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
There's always room for improvement. This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
All we want to see every year are the best two mothers getting in the ring and getting on.
Best people to fight for this. Somehow we got away from that because guys are trying to protect their record.
Think about it like this. The promoter pays the fighter. The fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter, and the fighter works
for the promoter. Okay.
Talk about that loyalty for a moment. I'm standing there to try to make a change. Give back to the youth, give back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. Only thing is you just got to be dedicated. You got to keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
If you can see, you can believe.
So you are lifting weights currently?
It's not like that.
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with him?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Can I finish? Right now? Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me?
What do you think about this type of
Aaron, like I was saying before.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show Voice of the Fans
Oh my goodness!
continues to
I'm in
evolve,
You were adding some spice to it.
it is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
The real ones know what's going on, right? Like you said, Pacific Northwest. So, I think it's a big part of my game. And every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
no, yeah,
I was
Ken,
trying to say
nobody.
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
Okay, where'd you hide that draft board? It wasn't in your locker room. Where was it at?
Picked up any sticks recently? I know you said in December you quit playing because you don't like the L.
What team you in? What question you asking?
I'm saying, have you picked up the sticks? Have you picked up the sticks at all? Oh, this guy.
Hey, come here. It's okay.
It's okay.
I'm not from It's okay.
I mean, that's what's good in sports, man. It's Big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sport.
Thank you for making our voice your choice.
And really appreciate you listening to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Check it out every single week.
Oh yeah. Just had enough time to wolf down my little with a brisket sandwich there from Full Moon out here in Alabama. Cleavon, thank you, Cleavon. Let's give Cleavon one more time. Give him a round of applause for paying off his debt, Cleavon. Fans, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. once again, once again, this is the Voice of the Fans, week 293, Cleveland, of the Voice of the Fans podcast, and we're right in the midst of NBA Finals, NBA Conference Finals. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we got a lot of basketball to talk about today, Cleveland. So, fans, let's get started. Cleveland, are you surprised by Minnesota being in the conference finals?
Yeah, absolutely surprised. I 177% thought that the reigning champions will get to the Western Conference Finals.
And you blame it all on just by your soliloquy on Michael Porter Jr., his ineffective. I think what he scored single digits in the last 4 games of the series.
Yes.
I mean, Jokic should have been able to circumvent that to some point, don't you think?
To a certain extent, but yeah, Michael Porter Jr. was horrible.
But your boy Jamal Murray was just as erratic, wasn't he? Well, I guess not.
Certainly,
He had a couple of
moments
games. He wasn't just as erratic.
Certainly had his moments of not coming through, but yeah, no, the series was lost because of Michael Porter Jr. for sure.
Okay, well, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. We're going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. The incredible game last night. Well, incredible ending to the game, I should say. Fans, it is May 22nd, 2024, week 293 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. Once again, we thank you guys for tuning in. Give yourself a round of applause. Today we're going to talk about obviously the NBA playoffs. We're down to the conference championship, so the final four of both conferences. We're going to talk about the NFL offseason. We're going to try to take a look at ahead at some of the NFL storylines this offseason going into OTAs that are starting this week for most teams. We're going to talk about some boxing news, Cleveland, and it looks like we're going to have another Mariners minute. Man, to my surprise, the Mariners are on above 500. What's it, 3 weeks in a row now, Cleveland?
Certainly is, Cam.
Don't say such a matter of factly. I mean, it's been a long.
No, it's not. It's not matter of factly.
This might be the longest running of above 500 that we've had Mariners minute on the show.
I am as surprised as you are.
So we're going to talk about that, Cleveland. But how we start each and every show is with our numbers game, Cleveland. So when you think of the number 22, Cleveland, who wore that number the best, or who comes to your mind first?
You know, Cam, because we've been talking about the Mariners so much, I think that Robinson Cano comes to mind first. But I mean, who wore it the best was probably Rocket Roger Clemens.
Roger, hey, that's a good number. What did he wear for number 22 for the Yanks?
Yeah,
he won 21 most of his career, but he
did
won 22 for the Yanks. Okay, I mean, better than Emmitt Smith, Elgin Baylor, Andrew Toney.
I mean, Emmitt is up there. Certainly better than Andrew Toney.
Clyde Drexler,
Elgin Baylor. That's debatable, but that's just what I came up with, Cam.
Okay, when you think of the number 93, who comes to your mind, or who wore that jersey number the best?
For both answers, it's John Randall, the maniac.
The maniac he was. What's good, Troy? Thank you guys for tuning in. Cleveland, man. So, where you want to start? You want to start with the Eastern Conference Finals? You just want to get into some random NBA talk?
Let's start with the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, Eastern Conference, man. So how we got to let's give a little four-way of how we got there. The Pacers beat the Knicks in Game 7, shooting 76% in the first quarter, and they just kind of rolled that wave. Cleveland, so I got a couple of questions for you. Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, where do these guys rank on your in your criteria for winning an NBA championship? Because they're effective. They're key cogs in the Pacers. on the Pacers team, and they need to be given some credit, Cleveland. So I like to ask you, Cleveland, where do you have guys like Andrew Nimhard and Aaron Nesmith? And you might as well throw in TJ McConnell as there as well. I know we spoke about him before, but where do you have TJ McConnell, Cleveland?
Some guys that throw in some buckets at some, key moments in the game. And TJ McConnell obviously is kind of stepped up and, tried to, announce with his presence of authority and has done some good things. But those other two players, they're just throwing some buckets.
Did you just call him Jags just a guy? Did you just do that? Guys, just a guy who played in the NBA, who helped their team get to the NBA Final Four conference championship.
Steve Smith knows what's up. And his acronym is so much more equatable to the NBA than football. But yeah, just a guy.
Cleveland, Andrew Nimhard had 20 points in that game 7. And Aaron Nesmith had 19 points in that game 7. What are you talking about?
That was cool. Yeah.
Wow, it's hard to get on Cleveland's board, I tell you that. What's your thoughts on Halliburton's? It's kind of apropos now, considering what happened and how that game played out last night. But what's your thoughts on Halliburton's Reggie Miller choke image on his sweatshirt walking out of Madison Square Garden?
I feel the same way that a lot of people have felt, that it was like if you really meant that and that was really your mentality, you would have wore it coming in, but you just wore it going out. So it's kind of,
they didn't choke coming in.
No, I feel what you were trying to say, but it would have had a lot more meaning had you worn it coming in. I mean, after you did it,
you can't wear it coming in. I mean, it hasn't happened.
Well, of course you can. That's the whole point. You believe it. You believe it to a point that you weren't it coming in, but I mean, after you do it and you weren't it going out, it's like, oh, okay. You didn't have any confidence to wear it coming in, though.
Well, so the Pacers put the smackdown on the Knicks. The Knicks, obviously, their injuries caught up to them. Is that every team that doesn't win a championship, hasn't had, there's multiple teams in the NBA who will not win the championship, but had a decent season, a season that they should be able to hold their heads up high about. Do you feel the Knicks had a season they should be able to hold their heads up high about?
Well, sure. They were the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, man. They battled really, really hard, and they just, came up a little bit short. So that's unfortunate.
Just under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, Dallas takes their first lead of the game, I believe, 80-79 on a three-pointer with, again, just 2 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. Let's see if Ant can respond. Ant misses a 3, goes in and out, misses a 3 to retake the lead, and here comes Dallas back down the court. Ant playing good defense. Ant almost forces a steal, but they get the rebound. They get the rebound going back the other way. Ant's playing a lot of good defense here in this game and really relying on the others in this game, but he creates a turnover, kind of forces it to go into the hoop. So right now, 2:10 to go in the third quarter, 80-79. Dallas Mavericks have the lead right now. And your boy Kyrie is doing his thing, still going to work. So the Celtics and the Celtics were rested up for the Pacers right on cue. Kristaps Porzingis to miss the first couple games 1 and 2 of the series. His son, we won't know what kind of impact he's able to have in the series until he comes back, obviously, if he comes back and what type of speed he comes back at. My question initially, even before last night, Cleveland, was what games do the Celtics lose? Because if you guys follow the show, I've been refusing to talk about the Celtics, even mention their name, because I know they're going to blow off some games. So I was refusing to give them any credit. So now that they're here in the Final Four, in the conference championship of the Eastern Conference, my initial question, Cleveland, was what games due to what games will the Celtics lose? And I think last night the Pacers blew game one. The question everybody asked, or everybody's been asking for years now, even before last night game, Cleveland, when you're up 3 seconds to go in the game, the other team has the ball and they're coming off a timeout. Do you foul immediately, Cleveland, before they can get their the 3 ball off, or do you just let it play out and it be in a make or miss game, play good defense? What would be your strategy in that final situation?
Foul immediately.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Do you give Rick Carlisle a pass for him not telling the Pacers to foul immediately? Do you give Rick Carlisle a pass for not having his team, stand at the 3-point line and defend all 3-pointers? Do you give Rick Carlisle a pass for him not calling a timeout with 10 seconds to go before the Celtics had a chance to Jaylen Brown had a chance to hit that corner 3 for him to win the game? Do you give Rick Carlisle a pass for him not telling Halliburton to edge to the corner, either corner just happened to be the left corner, or the left corner is where Jaylen Brown hit the 3? Do you give Rick Carlisle a pass for not coaching Halliburton up on that, or is that something Halliburton should know? What's your thoughts on that situation?
No, he doesn't get a pass because the way Siakam was playing defense on Jaylen Brown, it was to not foul. You could see he was trying to contort his body and put himself in a situation where he wasn't going to touch him and get a foul. That being said, he did rotate out a little bit late, but at the same time, it's like, foul him. Hit him hard.
He rotated late. I understand not trying to foul the 3-point shooter, not give up the 4-point play. But Siakam, you're 6'7". Put your hands up. Block his face guard.
Yeah, he did all that.
He had his hand behind the back. He had his hands behind the back.
No, he had his hands up, and then when the shot went up, he contorted his body so he didn't touch him. But it was already too late.
He had his hands down. He needed to put his hands up. Siakam, I'm a little disappointed in that. Even before then, Halliburton, what are you doing, dude? You're up 3, dribbling down the court, 30 seconds left, and Halliburton, how do you dribble it off your knee? Like this, Tyrese Halliburton. That how do you let dribble it off his knee? Neesmith goes diving for the ball. He rolls out of bounds. I don't blame Neesmith for not being able to save the ball. Halliburton, how the hell you let the ball dribble off your knee? You're up 3, 30 seconds to go. Like, where you, first of all, slow down. Where you racing off to? Let them foul you. Like, Halliburton, oh my goodness. As good as he was just as terrible down the stretch of that game. And then in overtime, looked like he was a little pressured, felt the pressure. It felt like he never been in this moment before with
Cam, that's because he's never been in this moment before.
I mean, but you played basketball before. You brought the ball up and late in the game and had to lead in some game in your lifetime.
But never in the Eastern Conference Finals.
In some game in your lifetime, you brought the ball up, try to crawl half.
When in your lifetime have you ever been in overtime in the Eastern Conference Finals in Boston Garden? Never. You've never been in that situation before, ever.
So you dribble it. So you dribble it out of bounds. Out of bounds.
Gravity of the moment got a little bit too much for him, and that's what happened.
I mean, that's shame on him for that. I mean, Halliburton, he fumbled the game away. The Celtics and your boy Jason Tatum tried to give the game away. They tried and gave the game away, but the Pacers didn't want it. Apparently, Jason Tatum was terrible down the stretch of the fourth quarter. Huh?
Terrible.
Jalen Brown's, bailed him out with that 3-pointer. I don't want to say it was lucky 3-pointer. That's he shoots 3-pointers. That's the easiest 3-pointer.
No, you say that because you don't want the Boston Celtics to win. You don't believe in them, so that's why you say it was lucky.
Well, I don't want them to win. I'm not saying it was lucky because again, that's the easiest 3-pointer. I actually like Jalen Brown. He's a cool dude. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the Boston Celtics.
The word that you really should be saying is clutch, but you just don't want to say that.
No, who was clutch?
Jalen Brown hitting the 3-pointer with hands all over him in the corner in desperation with the clock ticking down like he had to, click the blue wire to stop the bomb from going off.
He definitely detonated the bomb, that's for sure, because there was a bomb going to go off in Boston had he not made that jumper. You talking about pressure. There was going to be a world of pressure on these Boston Celtics, but he made the jumper.
He responded. Yeah,
he made the jumper. He sent into overtime. Tatum again, even in overtime, tried to give it away, but the last couple minutes in overtime, he made a key 3-pointer. They fouled him, so he went to the foul line a few times and made the free throw shots. But boy, oh boy, Halliburton. I wouldn't have been mad if Jalen Brown or Jason Tatum wore the Reggie Miller choke jersey, his sweatshirt out of the Boston Garden, because that's exactly what Halliburton did. He choked that game away. Can they recover? Can the Pacers recover? I mean, they were playing. And what makes that situation so terrible is because they were playing resilient basketball. Like they were down by 13, they were down by 11, but then they would come back and tie it up. Then they go back down by 13 or 11. Then they come back and tie it up. They were playing resilient basketball.
No. They were up by 3 with like 8 seconds left and choked the whole game away.
They choked it away. Yes, I'm saying that's ultimately what happened. Yes, it is. But I'm just saying they played a resilient. Yeah, but
all that resiliency don't matter when you just choke the game away. I mean, we're in the Eastern Conference Finals now.
We don't want to give them no credit for sticking in there and even having the lead with 3 seconds.
I give them credit. I give them credit for doing that. That's great. But then when you just choke the game away with turnovers, I mean,
So they gave up 32 points on turnovers yesterday. I don't forget the number of turnovers, but it was I think it was over 20. So Boston is not a strong team at home, but I actually see Boston winning by 20 points in game 2. Just because now they dodged the bullet. Now they're going to be playing with more confidence. Can the Pacers rebound and make a series of this, or was that their one game that they're because of stole, and now it's going to be a 4-1 gentleman sweep?
No, they absolutely can, because the Boston Celtics are food players. They play with their food. They get overconfident. They don't understand the gravity of the situation quite often, and they drift into cruise control, and then bad things happen. So. Again, I said Celtics in 7.
You said Celtics in 7 in this series? I don't think it's
6 or 7.
I don't think it's. I think now the Celtics again. I agree with you. They play with their food. I'm not a Celtics fan because of that exact reason. They just don't. They're deep. They got Derek White. Who Derek White? You tell me where Derek White ranks in your category. Drew Holiday has to be a basketball god by your BS rankings, right? But they got Derek White, who's a very pivotal player. They got obviously Jaylen Brown, obviously Jason Tatum. I mean, they're deep. They got Al Horford. Where does Al Horford rank in your rankings?
He is a usual suspect on the cusp of being a basketball legend. To be perfectly honest with you, it's what you need.
And Derek White, you please don't tell me you're gonna call Derek White just a guy.
Well, I mean, the JAG acronym is more for a football scenario. I'm gonna call him a usual suspect, man. He's in there with his tough and stuff, but he's not.
You have him in the same category as Neesmith and Nimhard.
Yeah, yeah.
That is totally disrespectful.
How is
Totally
it disrespectful?
Totally disrespectful for Derek White.
What has he done any different than those guys? Those guys have brought
This,
it to
this is his second finals. He's been in the finals. This is his second finals. He was in the finals with against Golden State. He was in the finals. He's been in the finals before. He's been a pivotal member of the finals. Okay, Derek White is a solid player, man. You gotta stop disrespecting Derek White, man. You gotta stop disrespecting. I've mentioned before.
His name's Kobe White, right?
No, see what I'm saying? See how disrespectful you been? See how disrespectful you been? Yeah. Okay, man. Derek White, that's one of the guys I really like. Josh Hart, one of the guys I really rock with, man. Just a straight up tough guy baller.
Man, and then Villanova Wildcats were good enough to win a national championship. They just weren't good enough to get past the second round of the Eastern Conference in the NBA playoffs.
Man, you got to recognize the ballers when you see them. You got to and Derek White is one. Cleveland all rookie team. Or did you see the list of the players who made the all rookie team?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not excited? You didn't like the list or what?
I mean, it's pretty predictable, right?
I mean, did you have Pozinski? You didn't have. You couldn't have. Nobody knew Pozinski before the season started. You know, unless you went to Santa Clara, nobody knew who Pozinski was. Brandon Miller, I definitely didn't think Brandon Miller, the way his summer league started, he was going to make the all rookie team. Jaime Jaquez Jr., we all knew about Jaime. And then we knew about Holmgren and Wemby both coming in competing for that Rookie of the Year award, but you didn't know anything about Pozinski, did you? And Brandon Miller, you couldn't have had that. You couldn't have had that.
So Brandon Miller was the number 2 pick in the draft?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. He made the all rookie team. That's cool.
No.
Great.
No. Pozinski.
The number 2 pick in the draft made the
was Pozinski a late rounder? I mean, a late number 30 pick, I think it was 29.
Great.
30,
Congratulations.
All defensive team. Were you good with that? All defensive team?
Yeah.
Herb Jones. You couldn't have had Herb Jones. Victor obviously made it. Rudy made it. Anthony Davis made it. Bam Adebayo. You good with all that?
Good with all that.
They don't have no guard on the list. No guard. Well, I guess Herb Jones.
I mean, you know, they didn't perform.
So Cleveland, which player has most? We're gonna talk about the Western Conference Finals and how we got here. But which player has the most game left in these playoffs? Is it Kyrie, Tatum and Brown, Luka, Halliburton, Edwards, Cat, Gobert? Who has the most game left in these playoffs? I mean, you could say somebody else. You could say Derek White if you want. Who do you think has the most game?
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards has the most game?
Absolutely.
More so than Kyrie? More so than Tatum or Brown?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because
I can say in response to
because
that.
if he wins a championship, he circumvents the whole line. He circumvents Tatum and Brown.
I agree with you. I don't disagree with you, but the argument against the argument for other players, yeah, and you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I can't. But an argument for you can make that same argument for Halliburton, right? If he was to win, if he was to get to the finals,
he's not going to do any of that.
Well, I mean, you can make that argument though. I mean, again, we're still.
Well, absolutely, you can make the argument for Tyrese Halliburton if you thought that he was in the conversation, but you didn't even put him in the conversation, which means you don't think that he's even in the conversation.
What I just mentioned them. I mentioned
Kyrie,
Kyrie, Tatum Brown, Luka, Halliburton,
Tatum Brown,
Luka
and Kyrie, and Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards, Carl Anthony Towns, Gobert, Halliburton's on my list right here. I mean, I can't show.
Okay, well, maybe he's on your list and you didn't say it, but no, man.
Boy, you want one tonight, ain't you? You want one tonight, man. What you little salty at the blue moon? That was the deal is. I mean, salty. I brought up.
I'm not salty about it, but we're here. We're at the Final Four, man, and like, hey, you throwing out names like Tyrese Halliburton, man. Like, okay.
I mean, there he is, right there on my list, right there. Which player has the most to gain? Kyrie, Tatum Brown. Can you see it? Halliburton, right there. Can you see it? Big letters, right there. Halliburton.
No. Okay. Yeah, that was in a weird place where important. Kyrie, Tatum Brown, Luka, Halliburton. Okay. Yeah.
Edwards, Carl Anthony
Towns. Who has the most to gain left is Anthony Edwards.
So Kyrie winning without LeBron. I mean, without Kyrie winning without LeBron, what does that? I mean, that he wins another championship. What does that do for his legacy? Again, Kyrie, I love you. I have nothing bad to say about Kyrie. Opened the game up with 24 points tonight in the first half. Kyrie, balling. Salute, my friend. What does that say, Cleveland, if he wins another ring without LeBron?
That is a tremendous.
He didn't need that dude.
That is a tremendous contribution to his legacy. It doesn't mean he didn't need that dude. It just means that, wow, that's quite an accomplishment. However, let's see if he gets past Anthony Edwards first and foremost.
I mean, yeah, I'm not putting the cart before the horse. I just was, I think it's an interesting question. Here we are right now, a game in. Luka knocks down a 3 to here we go. 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter to give Dallas a 2-point lead. Mm-hmm. Luka just step back 3, bang, bang, bang. 9 minutes to go. I mean, if Luka and Kyrie wins this, boy, whew. You can't take anything from either one of them. Like Kyrie, I think you're right. Anthony Edwards, if he were to win, I mean, he just jumps the line. This is like the quantum leap, right? Everybody and kind of, I don't want to say changes the way we see great players, but I mean, he certainly just jumps the line. Carl Anthony Towns, I must say, I gotta. As long as I've been banging on Carl Anthony Towns, I gotta say he was a huge factor in them beating the Denver Nuggets the other night. He was playing big time basketball. Rudy Gobert had that turnaround jumper out of Cleveland. Ever seen Rudy do the turnaround? Where did that come from?
Your swish, man, fading away like he was like
that. He was Dirk.
Throw for him, yeah, that was wild.
Like he was Dirk. Where did that come from? But Carl Anthony Towns, man, he was playing aggressive defense. His crashing the boards. Carl Anthony, he was playing defense. I was like, what has got into this cat? Luka's Luka, Tatum and Brown. I mean, if I think there's more pressure on them to lose it. If they were to lose this,
man, come on, man. The seas have parted in such a way that you're playing the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then you will either play the Minnesota Timberwolves or the Dallas Mavericks in the finals. If you don't win the championship this year, you have to blow that up.
So you agree with me? If their only thing can go wrong is if they lose it. I mean,
yeah. if they lose if they don't win the championship this year, I don't want to hear anything about any of those guys.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you, Cleveland. Which team are you most disappointed in the season? As we look back and do an autopsy on the teams who did not make it, is it the Milwaukee Bucks? Is it? I mean, neither you nor I thought the Milwaukee Bucks at the beginning of the season were going to do much of anything.
It's the Los Angeles Clippers, Cam. I mean, you know, I could say a whole bunch of other squads.
The Suns,
like Milwaukee. I have to give them a pass. They did not have Giannis. The Philadelphia 76ers balled out.
The Sixers, their best guy got hurt for 6 weeks.
I know, but they still balled out. Like when he came back, it was like 60%.
But there's no disappointment in what they did. Their best guy was out. Period.
So
no disappointed in that. I mean, the Suns just never came together.
Have to be the Clippers, man.
I mean, as much as I don't want to hear it, but I mean, it's accurate. I mean, they just didn't live up to expectations. And again, their best guy got hurt again. I mean, this is 4 years running with them in this 2-1-3 era, them not able to close the deal. And, you know, it's just another thing to wait till next year. I mean, it sounds like another Major League Baseball team up in the Pacific Northwest. Just wait till next year. I mean, it's kind of, they don't even have the talent to say for teams to be rooting for them to actually do something in the playoffs. So I asked you about how do these the others. You still don't want to believe in the others, huh, Cleveland? Because when you get the performance from Derek White, you get performance from Drew Holiday, you get the performance from Al Horford. You still don't believe these guys make a difference to assisting Jason Tatum and 8 minutes to go, Dallas Mavericks, excuse me, up by what is it? 6 points here. Derek Lively, 9 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks, playing big basketball down low. And Anthony Edwards throws another turnover. I don't know what's up with him and driving to the hoop and kicking it out and just throwing turnovers. But yeah, we got Derek Lively making a difference on the boards, getting rebounds, tapping it in. Just he's playing big time basketball. Cleveland. So it's amazing to me how you don't want to give no love to Derek White, Drew Holiday, guys like Al Horford, for Indiana Pacers, McConnell, Nembhard, Neesmith. You just want to say, yeah, congratulations to you. Naz Reid, Jaden McDaniels, Mike Conley. You don't want to give no love to none of these guys, the others, quote unquote, who's actually playing big time basketball. Lively, as I mentioned, Daniel Gafford for the Mavericks, PJ Washington. Which one of these guys do you want to give any love to, Cleveland? You guys see this, fans? This is a tennis player I'm talking to. I'm talking to a tennis player about teamwork.
Why does that feel?
I'm talking to a tennis player about a guy stepping up on a team, making a difference.
Man.
That's what. These guys make up a team. These guys make up a team.
No.
What do you mean, no?
You will turn and look at a certain player and like, hey, man, it's your time. Okay. Give me the basketball every single time down the court, and we will win.
Daniel Gafford.
You cannot do that for PJ Washington. You cannot do that for TJ McConnell. You cannot do that for White or Pritchard or Horford, because there will come a point in the game where, like, no, we need you to do it. And
no, they're not
those guys, and none of those guys are capable of doing that.
No, they're not the closers. They're not the closers. I'm not saying that they're the closers.
Not the foundation. They're not
their play.
They're not any of that. They're the
glue guys are needed.
Every once in a while, you need some things to happen. Yeah, help us out here. But you're always going to turn to the guy. And none of those guys are the guy.
Um,
and when you have a team where you can't turn to the guy, that's when you realize that you have a problem. Because that other team on the other side, most likely, more times than not, can turn to a guy.
6.5 minutes to go. 6 minutes 57 seconds to go in the game. Luka's at the line, just missed a free throw to give them a 6-point lead with 6 minutes 57 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. Dallas Mavericks up 97-92. Luka just missed the front end of a 1-on-1, and he makes the second one to give him a 6-point lead again. Just under 7 minutes left to go. Why do you have the Mavericks beating the Timberwolves in this game?
Basketball got on their side, a usual suspect, almost an NBA legend, and Luka. And I think that the Timberwolves are over their skis.
The Timberwolves are over their skis?
I think so.
Cat shoots
except for Anthony Edwards will determine that.
Well, Anthony Edwards isn't having a great game.
He's not.
Luka just throws up a bloody brick. Luka, gee whiz. Luka just throws up a jumper from 3 feet behind the line and didn't hit no part of the rim. Karl Anthony Towns just hit a kind of a step back jumper to move him, bring him within 4. But yeah, Luka, gee whiz, Luka. Almost, they might need to check the backboard after that brick. Again, 4-point game, 6 minutes 15 seconds to go. Yeah, Anthony Edwards pulls up and misses another 3. Let me look at his numbers. He is not having a good game, guys. He is not having a game. You got his numbers.
Might be running out of steam, Cam, and that's not unusual. Not at all.
I mean, 16 points, 5 of 14, 5 of 14, 4 for 3, 4 for 10 behind the arc, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. But it was like he was 5 for 24 the other night, and his other teammates pulled him through. So when you say
can't continue to do that, that's not
sustainable.
No,
I mean it happens. You need your other guys.
No, man. No, you
don't.
You need them to contribute. You don't need them to carry you. If they have to carry you, you will not win.
They were refusing to give anybody else some credit. Because again, they had a bad game, but they were able to beat the NBA champions, the reigning champions. But that means nothing to Cleveland because there's only one player on the Minnesota Timberwolves.
There's only one player that will guide them to a championship. It will not be the
Cleveland.
Collective.
He just went 5 for 24.
It will not be the collective of the others.
Cleveland. They won game 7.
No. If Anthony Edwards does not step up and win this game or win this series, it will not be the collective parts of the other players.
Karl Anthony
Towns will not be Alexander Edwards and Jaden McDaniel and Nas. No.
Cleveland. Did you watch Game 7? I don't think you watched the Game 7.
I did watch the game.
Did you see Anthony Edwards was 5 for 24? That's 20%. How did they win the game with him not? He didn't finish that game for them.
That was one game. They will not beat the Dallas Mavericks if he is not balling out.
Okay, you didn't expect them to beat the Denver Nuggets without him balling out, right? Right? Is that a fair statement?
That's a fair statement. But the only game that he didn't
the
ball
other
out,
guys do matter. The other guys do matter, and this is what you refuse.
They can get you a game or two. They can get you a game or two, but no, you don't win.
That's what you need. You need a game or two because clearly he's not going to do it every single night. He's not doing it tonight. He didn't do it Game 7. They're not going to do it every single night.
But you already see how this is unfolding, right?
Well, I see Karl Anthony Towns just had a assist to Rudy Gobert. Anthony Edwards kicked it to Karl Anthony Towns, who was near the logo, and Karl Anthony Towns pulls up and hit a three. So right now, Karl Anthony Towns has assisted or scored the last 7 points for the Minnesota Timberwolves to give them a 1 point lead with 4.5 minutes to go in the game. So again, Anthony Edwards, where you want to just keep throwing off this guy aspect, and I like Anthony Edwards. I'm not down to Anthony Edwards, but he is 5 for 14.
Oh, you're clearly not down on Anthony Edwards. You've been on Anthony Edwards, jockstrap since the first series of the playoffs.
I'm telling you what team basketball, how it's a team that it plays into it, and you want to refute that it's a team game. And I'm trying to point out to you that others matter.
Because at this point of the season, it's not.
Karl Anthony Towns pulls up for three. Oh, and that was a little unwarranted there, but he just pulls up for another three. And again, now that's who you want shooting a three, and he's off. Kyrie pulls up for three, and he's off. But I'm just saying, Anthony Edwards, whether he's running out of gas, whether he's I don't want to say the moment's too big for him, but he pulls up for three again, and he drops it. He buries the three. So 102, 3:30 to go in the game, 102-98. Minnesota is up. But that gives him 18 points tonight. But I'm telling you, he's using the others, and here go Kyrie back to the hoop, and he misses it. But Luka, it comes out to Luka, who steps back for three, and bang, 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 bang. What is the
wow, that's weird. You keep saying Kyrie and Luka and Ant, and Kyrie and Luka and Ant. You just keep saying these names over and over because the game was getting serious.
Yeah, before that, though, it's
why do we keep having this conversation, Cam? The others will not win.
Because Nembhard went off for 20 points in game 7. Naismith went off for 19 points in game 7. Miles Turner went off for 17 points in game 7.
Or Johnson, dude.
Let's see what happens, fans. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. A round of applause for you guys who paid attention to the show. And we got Karl Anthony Towns at the top of the key, who looks like he
wants gods win championships, Cameron. It will not be because of TJ McConnell. It will not be because of Al Horford.
So with this logic, and this is for those of you guys who paying attention to the show, we appreciate it. So there's only one. Dallas Mavericks is the only team that's can win the can win the NBA championship because they're the only player with a basketball god remaining. Right? This is
there are two. Indiana has one, but they're not gonna get to the NBA finals. It's gonna be Boston.
It's gonna be Boston. Who does Indiana? Oh, they have Siakam. You said basketball god by association, though. He's a basketball god by association,
right?
There go Washington giving up the cookies. With 2 minutes to go. These guys are still up 1. And you're going, why you oh man. I was gonna say why you crapping on your boy McDaniels, but he just threw it away. Your fellow Washington, there's a PJ in the corner all by himself for 3. Gives the Mavericks 2-point lead with a minute and a half or minute 50 to go in the game. Why are you banging on McDaniels and your fellow Husky?
He's always been a weirdo. He's emotionally like imbalanced, man. Like for real.
Okay, that might have been in his past. Cats grow up. He's playing in the Western Conference Finals right now, so you don't have no faith in him.
Don't trust him.
Conley at the top of the key. Conley pulls up for 3 and misses. And can you guess who grabs a rebound and dunks it in? This guy's really making me change my mind on him. Can you guess the guy who grabs the rebound and gets the rebound, and while everybody's watching the ball, he grabs the rebound and dunks it in. Can you guess who that is?
That was Anthony Edwards.
No, it was Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh.
He's really he's really changing my mind on this guy, because he's making some plays like with everybody standing around. His hustle, I mean, that's a hustle play right there. That's a straight up a hustle play right there.
Wow, and now you go with the hustle plays and the others, man.
That matters. That clearly matters, Cleveland.
Helps.
What? No, wait. They're saying the ball was in the cylinder and it was not in the cylinder. It was not in the cylinder. There's a clear shot of it not being in the cylinder. But they're saying it doesn't count because the ball was in the cylinder. It clearly was not. So they're calling it what's that? When the ball's in the cylinder, they're saying it did not count. But they gotta replay that.
They're calling basket interference.
Goaltending. They're calling it goaltending, but it was not in the cylinder.
Okay, well, review it.
I mean, is that reviewable? That must not be reviewable because they're not looking at it. They're not looking at it. They're not looking at it. The basket didn't count.
That's because they didn't want to challenge it, but it's reviewable.
Horrible call. Horrible, terrible call. I mean, gee whiz. And at this moment in the game, horrible call. He traveled. Yeah, they called it travel. Lively. Luka kicks it in the Lively down low. Lively kicked it out to the 3-point line, but he traveled. Yeah, he traveled. Yeah, clearly traveled. Man, that was a horrible call. They didn't want to review that. I don't have the sound fans because I'm watching the game, but they called basket interference on Karl Anthony Towns. That was not in the cylinder. Like, that's going to be on that 2-minute report for sure. But who we have not heard from is there's Rudy Gobert, Edwards. Where you at, Anthony? Oh, that was a terrible play. Conley tried to do a kick it, draw and kick to alley-oop to Anthony or to Karl Anthony Towns. That was a terrible call. I mean, this is when I'm with you. Anthony Edwards got to step up and make a play. Oh boy, Cleveland, do you want to look at? Let's look at this here in between all NBA teams. Have you seen the all NBA team list, or do you want to look at the top 5, or excuse me, the top 10? It's actually 25, but we're not going to go through the whole list. Top 25 NBA players under 25.
No, the all NBA teams.
Okay, all NBA. Oh, it's something you like on that list, huh?
No, the top 25 under 25. I mean, that's so subjective. The other list is legit. It's been voted on
already. So who do you got in your third? You want to go third to 1, 13 to first team?
No, other way.
13. Devin Booker.
No, other way.
You want to go first team?
First team.
First team, Giannis. You agree with that? Giannis, Luka, Shea, Nikola Jokic, and Jason Tatum. You agree with that?
Okay.
Giannis,
so
Luka.
Tatum on first team. Okay. Next team.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
You're already mad. Okay. Next team.
Jalen Brunson, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, Anthony Edwards should be on the first team.
Okay.
Anthony Edwards on the first team, not Tatum, in my opinion. But Kawhi was balling in the games he played this season. He was
on the second team, huh? I
Huh?
the third team because I haven't heard him be yet. So what's up? Third team.
Third team, Booker, Steph Curry, Tyrese Halliburton, Domantas Sabonis. Dallas just hit a jumper. They're up 4 points, 45 seconds to go. Where is Anthony Edwards? I have not. Anthony Edwards had the ball at the top of the key. He kicks it out to Karl Anthony Towns, who breaks a 3, and Giannis gets the rebound. That should be that probably is game right there. And Anthony Edwards has to be tired, man. Why he didn't shoot the last 3 minutes of the game? Here's Kyrie, gets it back. He going to the hole, and he misses. Anthony Edwards gets the rebound. Did they call a timeout? Yeah, they had a call timeout. 17.5 to go. Minnesota has the ball. Kyrie frustrated. He missed a lay-in. A lay-in. It wasn't an easy lay-in, but Kyrie's been balling. So yeah, a couple of turnovers. Luka's been really good this second. This
So what's the score at present?
4-point game, 17 seconds to go.
Who's winning by 4?
Dallas is up.
Dallas up by 4 was 17. Okay.
Yeah, Dallas. Yeah.
So they should probably get this. Still one on the road. Who's the 5th player on the 3rd team All NBA team?
LeBron.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and B didn't make it. He was hurt, man. He was hurt.
Okay. How you feel about that?
About LeBron making it for 20 consecutive years, and all being on All NBA.
Clearly, he should have made one of the 3 teams. But I mean, are there some omissions that you feel should be on there?
He was hurt.
Jalen
He
Brunson's second team, I feel is a little high. I didn't hear De'Aaron Fox anywhere. I didn't hear Paolo Banchero anywhere.
No, not All NBA. Not All NBA squad. Jalen Brunson was second team. You thought was high? No, that was about right. That
high.
was, huh?
It's high,
bro. You just never liked Jalen Brunson. I mean, that we have to chalk it up to that.
Didn't hear Jamal Murray anywhere. That's weird.
Who? You didn't hear who?
Jamal Murray on any of these teams. He's not
Jamal's
even
never made an All-Star team. Though. He's never made an All-Star team. So that's crazy. But he was hurt. He was hurt a large part of the game. So remember there's that 65 game threshold where you have to play 65 games to make one of these lists. Embiid didn't make that list.
That was just for the MVP voting. Oh, it's for everything.
No, it's for all these postseason awards. You have to play 7. So Embiid was hurt. Kawhi played 65 games. I think he played 70 games, 69 or 70 games. So he was within that threshold. I mean, Kevin Durant making second team is kind of high.
No, not even.
What you call it? What you call it? Didn't have
because Luka made first team, right? You said,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, no,
yeah. Luka, Shea. I mean, these is everybody for the.
How could KD being second team be too high?
Because the Suns were underwhelming this season.
So I'm so sorry. So who on the 3rd team should have been on the team instead of Kevin Durant?
Hold on. So they give it back again to Karl-Anthony Towns to shoot another 3-pointer late in the game. Okay, they get the tip in 9.9 seconds to go. It's a 2-point game. I didn't like that call. They give it, they run a play for Karl-Anthony Towns to shoot a 3-pointer, and they throw. Oh my goodness gracious! Dallas throws a pass. Gee whiz, as high as it could. As high as it can go without it going out of bounds. Who caught this ball? But they ran a play for Karl-Anthony Towns. They double team him. He still put it up a 3-pointer, and they get the tip in. Naz Reid gets a tip in. But who is this? PJ Washington. PJ Washington throws the ball as high as he could without it going out of bounds. They taps it and kicks it to Kyrie, who's at the line. 7 seconds to go with 2-point lead. And he makes the first free throw. So it's a 3-point game. Who caught this ball? Right, just beyond half court. I still couldn't see who caught the damn ball, but my goodness, it was a wild throw. Kyrie at the line, 3-point game, 7 seconds to go. He can ice the game right here. 29 points, 5 for 5 from 3, or 5 from 5 from the free throw line. 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Kyrie at the line can ice it, get a 30th point of the game, and he gets his 30th point of the game. Anthony Edwards throwing it in. You should be trying to catch it, Anthony Edwards. Oh, so they're gonna. Who is this? Mike Conley try to shoot a three? Did they get it off, or is that a Mike Conley's foul shooting a 3-pointer? Is that? I mean, either way, it's a 4-point lead, but I think he got fouled shooting a 3-pointer. He Oh no, he stepped on the line. He stepped on the line. So even if they review this, even if they give him the foul in the shooting motion, he stepped on the line. So it's not a 3-point. It's not a 3-pointer. 1.8 seconds to go in the game, down by 4. Mike Conley goes to the line. Yeah, even if they give him he was at the 3-point line, but I think he stepped on the line. Well, I know he stepped on the line. So it's not he's not shooting for 3. Yeah, he stepped on the line right there. Even if they're calling it, I don't know if they're calling it a foul in the act of shooting, but either way, he's going to the line for 2. So yeah, the Mavericks should ice this one right here.
Yeah, and as I'm thinking about it, I noticed I didn't hear your homie Zion on any of those lists.
Zion again, you have to play 65 games. Zion didn't play 65 games this year.
Okay.
Cleveland, do you like the parity in the NBA? No team. This is the 6th year that no NBA champion has made it past the second round of the NBA playoffs with the Nuggets losing.
Very, very strange. I'm okay with the parity because it comes from just rolling the ball out, you know.
It comes from rolling the ball out. I mean, and there's new blood in the NBA. There's new blood in the NBA. I like that more than anything else. That the young guys get a chance to kind of ball out. So with 1.8 left in the game, Conley's at the line. They're down 4. Obviously, he has to. Do you make one and then miss and try to get the rebound? Miss intentionally? I mean, that's really the only option you have.
You make one and miss intentionally.
So he shoots and he makes the first one. So they're down 3. So yeah, it's they have to make it and kick it out. You know, watch Conley make this one. Is just watch him make this one. So they had him shooting. Oh, they called it. They had him shooting 3 free throws. I thought he stepped on the line, but he misses the second one. Anyway, he misses the second one. Anyway. They had him shooting 3 free throws. I thought he stepped on the line, or they didn't review it. Either way, one of the two. But he's at the line now. It definitely has to miss this one, but I mean, not Conley. You can't. They miss it obviously, but Conley. Remember in college, Conley misses the free throw to win the game. Do you remember that at Ohio State? So yeah, they wow, what a way to lose one. Luka, Kyrie, 5th road game of the playoffs. 5th road win of the playoffs, tied for second most. Yeah, on the way. So, what's your thoughts on JJ Redick of the Lakers seeing JJ Redick as a young Pat Riley? What's your thoughts on that? Do you like that equation? Do you like that? Do you see any Pat Riley in JJ? I mean, Pat Riley was an announcer before he became the head coach. The difference is being that Pat Riley actually was an assistant coach before he became the head coach of the same team.
And played on the team with Wilton, Elgin, and Jerry West.
I mean, JJ played on. JJ went to Duke.
I'm so sorry. He went to Duke. Did he?
He went to Duke. He played
with Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Another team with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris.
He's hot. He's hot. I mean, that's what it sounds like. That's what he sounded like. Oh. LeBron also made it a point. Well, Rich Paul made it a point to say that LeBron wants nothing to do with the decision making of who the next coach is. Also, it just so happens that he's his podcast host right now, his co-host. Just that that's just a mere coincidence. Tell us your thoughts.
As I have said before, I would prefer Sam Cassell, whichever direction Jeannie and Rob decide to go.
You're all for it. You're all for it.
I have to respect their decision, their opinion. They're a little bit closer to the source than I am, and
they're closer to the source than you are. I couldn't find. I scoured the internet. I looked on Twitter. I looked on all the Lakers Twitter. I couldn't find a date for Jeannie biopic. Do you have a date for the biopic?
No, it's not yet. It's coming.
It's coming.
It's TBD.
Is Rob gonna be in this? Is Pelinka gonna be in this?
A little bit. He'll be in a little bit.
You didn't mention your thoughts on LeBron saying he didn't want part of the decision making. What do you think about that?
I mean, what do you think about it? I mean, that's what the media.
That's bullshit. That's what I think about it.
To hear. I mean, yeah. I mean, what is it gonna say? Like, yeah, I'm lockstep with every decision they make. I'm in the interview process. I mean, you can't really say that.
Why not? Don't you think it wouldn't it be smart for the Lakers to consult the guy who's made 20 consecutive all NBA teams? Wouldn't it make sense for the Lakers to consult?
It would make sense for the franchise player to deflect any responsibility with regards to hiring the new head coach.
Oh, so you're all for it?
Yeah, I'm all for that. Yeah.
Man, you guys hear this garbage? You hear this bunch of garbage? And he said the guy has said, I don't have nothing to do with my podcast host being a front runner for the head coaching job of the Los Angeles Lakers. And we see it as a young Pat Riley. And here Cleveland want to be so hard on the others throughout the league. He wants to be so hard on Ant Edwards and so hard on everybody else.
I'm not hard on Ant Edwards. Let's be perfectly clear. He is not one of the others.
Cleveland wants to be so matter of fact about the others in the game, but JJ Redick can be in the running for the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Cleveland's 100% okay with that. Oh, Jeannie and Rob, they're closer to the situation. They have more
I didn't say I was okay with it, Cam.
Come on,
twist my words around. I've already said. You asked me who do I want to be the head coach of the Lakers. I've already said Sam Cassell.
I asked you that 2 weeks ago, and right now I'm asking you your thoughts on JJ Redick being considered Pat Riley.
I think
they see him as Pat Riley. I mean, what kind of glasses are they looking through that they see JJ Redick as Pat Riley?
I said it was preposterous the first time you asked me. It's premature. He is
premature.
He's not Pat Riley in any way, shape, form, or fashion, and will never be.
All right, man. So, off the court, Cleveland. It looks like Disney, NBC, and Amazon is finalizing the deal with NBA, meaning inside the NBA will be ending as we know it after next season. ESPN ponying up $2 billion, Cleveland, annually. $2 billion annually. Gee, where is the NBA making money? To include the NBA finals, conference finals, weekly primetime games, and the WNBA. NBC is building around $2.5 million or a little more.
Billion.
What did I say? Yeah, excuse me, $2.5 billion. So right there, the NBA has already made over $5 billion right there. Just those two deals, and there's more coming. They made $5 billion right there annually, fans. They're building around $2.5 billion for basketball night in America or Sunday night basketball following the NFL season, excuse me, and 2 prime time windows a week for NBA games, the conference finals and a conference finals. Hey, Boots, what you think about JJ Redick being the Lakers head coach? Boots. Oh, and the Lakers, Jeannie, Rob, and Cleavon think he's a young Pat Riley. What's your thoughts on that, Boots?
Boots, I did not say that. I do not think he's young Pat Riley.
I mean, he's smiling over there at the prospects of getting JJ Redick on the sideline.
Well, no, I am not.
NBC. I mean, that brings back the NBA on NBC, right? NBA on NBC. I mean, that's what we kind of grew up with Marv Albert. You know, they came up with the slogan, the NBA is fantastic, right? Amazon, 1.8 between 1.8 $2 billion to include the Emirates in-season tournament, the SoFi play-in tournament,
which you don't like at all.
I mean, clearly, I'm not the decision maker here. Amazon is paying $2 billion to promote this or to show this.
Okay.
The Emirates in-season tournament, the SoFi play-in tournament, first round in the playoffs, and the WNBA and international rights.
Mm.
I mean, come on, man. Just because he hasn't won as a player, I mean, JJ did some good things in the league. JJ,
no, I mean that's legitimate. That is so legitimate. Why? What is it that you've done to circumvent the line for all these other coaches that have coached or played for championships? You've done neither.
He's on a podcast with LeBron James. He does. I'm not sure if you guys are paying attention, but he's doing a podcast and have been doing a podcast for the last couple months with LeBron James. That makes him NBA coach ready. He played for Doc Rivers. He played a bunch of years for Doc Rivers. He went and played a couple years with Nick Nurse. JJ Redick played at Duke with your guy, Coach K. Coach K is we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Coach K is a consultant for the Los Angeles Lakers to help them find a head coach.
No, I feel you. In the same way that Tyronn Lue once coached that one team to NBA championship with LeBron James on them before. I hear you.
I mean, hey, I'm not making the decision.
Wrong with that.
I'm not making the decision. I'm just telling you what the situation is.
You just need to worry about getting the movers over to the crib house to get all that.
That's already done. That's already done. I mean,
they moved out their shit out already. Okay, good.
They're sweeping the floors at the new place. I memean, they're painting the windows and everything.
You have to go through all that rigmarole, like keep changing the court and raising and lowering the curtains so you can't see the banners and stuff. Yeah, get out.
I mean, the NBA is making, so they're going to make $5 billion. They're going to make $7 billion annually with this new deal, Cleavon. And this again means NBA TV as we know it, man, is not going to be the same. Are you more likely to watch the NBA on NBC or TNT? Does it matter to you, or are you watching for the personalities? If NBA, I mean, I don't know who owns the name inside the NBA, but if they go to NBA post game and it's Shaq, Kenny, and Chuck, are you going to tune into that, whether it's on NBC or TNT or Amazon?
I mean, if TNT can keep their crew like together and have some type of situation where they're on the air, then I'm going with that.
Yeah. I heard. Hey, don't talk about winning culture, Boots. Don't talk about winning culture matters, Boots. Somebody don't know about culture, and it's not me. Okay, Boots. Somebody doesn't recognize winning culture, and that doesn't play anything to it. You missed the whole first part of the show where the guy just refuses to acknowledge there's other people on the court rather than Minnesota has other players rather than Anthony Edwards.
Well, no, I think what Boots is saying is different when Steve Kerr interjects himself into a situation adverse JJ Redick and interjecting himself into a situation. Steve Kerr had won 5 championships when he interjected himself, 3 with Michael Jordan and 2 with Tim Duncan. 1 under Phil Jackson and 1 under Greg Popovich. So he kind of understood how to coach. JJ Redick has just been bouncing around with some knuckleheads that
Doc Rivers didn't have a championship.
Oh, I'm sorry. He has one. The coaches that I'm talking about have 16
collectively. No, I feel you, Bruce. What you saying makes sense. You just missed the first part of the show. And just winning culture is something Cleveland just doesn't want to admit matters. Culture, winning, others.
No, Boots, because he's trying to put words in my mouth. What I said was the others don't win championships. Superstars win championships. Either they do or do not do. They show up or they don't.
And I'm not gonna belabor that point. Thanks for chiming in, Boots. Appreciate you, big dog. I got you though. I feel you. Man, so another thing I heard is just Amazon, if you ponying up all this money, just go ahead and buy just go ahead and pay for what is it? TNT's whole production studio, and just put Amazon on the label and not TNT.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Ernie's not coming. He's a TNT TBS guy through and through, so he's not coming.
I mean, if they allow Ernie, doesn't what's the man who does golf? He does golf and ESPN has a night show on ESPN. Gee whiz, how am I forgetting my man? Scott Van Pelt. Doesn't he do golf and the ESPN show at night? Like, they can let Ernie go do baseball and golf and auto racing or whatever else to do.
Everything that he's doing, though.
I'm sorry?
Isn't it the same network that he does everything for?
It happens to be, but I'm saying
CBS doesn't leave CBS. I mean, he does the Masters, he does the NCAA tournament, or did, and it's always within the same network. It's not like, oh, I do this for this network, and then I come back and do this for this network. It's like,
okay, so the lines are being blurred. The history is gone. If Amazon went ahead and bought up TNT's production studio, allow Ernie to go do, because you're right. I mean, it works with the 4 of them, right? Ernie, Kenny, Chuck, Shaq. I mean, I think you could take away Kenny, Chuck, or Shaq, and it could still work with somebody else. I don't think the Draymond Green thing works very much for me personally, but I think you can replace one of the former players, but the guy who's irreplaceable is Ernie Johnson. So if they said, okay, Ernie, we're going to pay you to come and do the NBA show, but then on your off days when it's not NBA season, you go do your auto racing, your baseball, your golf for TNT. We don't have no problem with that. I think that will work. Because clearly we're seeing a time where he's not working for NBC or NBA. NBC or ESPN. He would be working for Amazon, quote unquote. And then
when have you ever seen that though?
Amazon, all the guys. Doesn't your guy Richard Sherman? He worked for Amazon doing football games, and then come work for Fox the next morning with Skip and Shannon. He was Skip now. It was Skip and Shannon. Richard Sherman did that all season long, if I'm not mistaken. He worked for Amazon, covered the games, and then go cover.
But that's
They
not.
talk
That's
about
not.
it the next day. I mean,
That's
it's a new age. It's not historically, it hasn't been done, but it's more of a new age. Doesn't Tony Gonzalez do the same thing? Tony Gonzalez would cover that Thursday night game and go work for another network called doing the
Yeah, I mean, those are color
inside the NFL.
commentators that kind of throw a little bit of
I feel you.
interject a little bit of like this or that to it. It's not
I
like
feel you.
nonsense, man.
I mean, again, the lines are being blurred. It's you're right. Jim Nash, you typically stuck to his to CBS, but that's Jim Nance to CBS. I mean, it ain't what it once was anymore. And that's Amazon has popped up.
So maybe there's some interesting new kind of contract structure where Ernie Johnson can still be TNT, TBS, and just do the NBA wherever the NBA goes. That would be great. Would love that.
Yeah, I mean, just I'm thinking about just that would be my proposal if I was Amazon. Okay, Ernie, we're gonna give you this if you come work for us on these nights, and then go do we'll keep you in Atlanta. We'll keep the show produced in Atlanta, so you don't have to do any ridiculous travel. You don't have to come to LA.
And like you're saying, Amazon is kind of like the anomaly for all this, because look what Herb Street does the Monday night game, right? Goes right back to ESPN doing whatever.
Exactly.
So I mean, if that's the way that it works, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how this new world order works.
Right, exactly. It's different. It's not, you work for McDonald's and you can't go work at Burger King. It's not like that no more. Do you think so? This is all presuming, from what I understand, the TNT has a match clause where they can match Amazon or NBC for their offer. But the reason we've got so far down this road is that TNT kind of made it known that they weren't gonna re-up with the NBA. They kind of said apparently the head of TNT said sometime last year that they didn't need the NBA to stay alive. Okay, well, here we are now, and that's the reason we got so far down this road. But it was also announced earlier today, that TNT has signed a deal with college football to broadcast college football playoff games. Do you see this as an adequate replacement for NBA, for losing the NBA, if they should lose the NBA, the college football game?
No, because the college football playoff games have lost the kind of like their. Are these bowl games or playoff games?
Playoff games. The playoff is going. The playoff game is going to 12 games.
So the format has evolved to more expanded to more games, but no, the NBA is just way longer and just way more content.
More games. More games.
Yeah, it doesn't equal out.
So probably 40 games a year on TNT currently, or 40 nights anyway, not 40 games, but probably 40 nights. Where college football is probably going to be less than 10, maybe, maybe 10 to 12, if that. Do you agree with Jalen Rose that NBA jobs are becoming extinct for U.S. born players?
No, not extinct. They just have to compete for them harder. And the product is not, it's not so cut and dry where the best talent is. And sometimes it's other places. Right now, France is killing it, right? Have the number one pick in the draft last year, have the number one pick in the draft this year.
Yeah.
And, 5 or 6 other players that are very prominent. I mean, is that France's fault or the United States' fault?
Well, I think the difference in, so I do agree with them to a point. It's not so cut and dry. But I do agree that NBA jobs are becoming extinct And that's only because the style of play that U.S. born players are playing. Because it's the one-on-one ISO ball. I mean, Kyrie's great.
They're just not as good.
Who's that?
The U.S.
No.
foreign players, like
No, I don't want to say I don't want to say that. You can't say Anthony Edwards is not as good as Luka. I mean,
okay,
but Luka is playing. Luka Jokic they're playing.
So sorry, so weren't you the person that said that like an American-born player will not win an MVP for how long?
And, okay, we said that 4 years ago. And when's the last time we said that? Probably 5 years ago. How many MVPs have went by without American-born player winning one?
Damn, I won.
But that's because of the style of play. I would say, more the also ball is not working.
Embiid and Joker and Giannis
again.
And you were hoping Luka was going to win one. So
no, I had SGA, but he's not American either. SGA or Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards might be the first guy. We better, I mean, for Americans better jump on his back to win the NBA or to win the NBA MVP. He's the closest guy that's going to do it. But outside of him, like the game again, they're learning the more fundamental type of game that is not what America.
Why are they learning a different game than American-born players?
Okay, they're playing a different game.
Why are they playing a different game?
Why are they? Is that AAU? Is that AAU to go? Cats traveling around the country trying to show off what they can do versus playing team basketball, playing on a team for 6 years where they have to learn how to develop
fundamentals and understanding the game.
Correct. Okay. Rather than just having a better jumper or being able to handle or being able to get to the hoop, worrying about your specific game. They're playing team basketball. They're learning team basketball. That's where their precedent is. We're seeing them come into the game much better team players. If they don't make it on their individual talent, they can make it on playing team basketball. That's where I think the difference is. And when I think Americans need to get back to playing team basketball, learning fundamental basketball. But then that's tough because most times Americans are much more talented than the European players. So that individual talent is where we rely upon versus having to play, do the chest pass and do the bounce pass. And we have more talent where we could do the behind the back pass, right? Or the no look pass. That makes Sports Center, right? So that's what they're playing to, where the European players are making these basic fundamental plays, and that just works better in a team environment, in a team setting. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, they have to do other things to kind of accentuate the physical and athleticism deficiencies that they have.
All right, Cleveland. One kind of quiz question for you. Well, I got a few quiz questions for you, but tonight, in regards to basketball, Cleveland, can you name the 10 players with multiple conference finals appearances before the age of 26? There's 10 of them. I got a list of 10 of them
right with I'm sorry, multiple conference
finals appearances, not wins, not championships, appearances. All of these guys have won all these guys, but one has won conference championship. But this is the most with conference. No, excuse me. All of these guys, but two has won a conference championship.
So Magic Johnson.
Magic is not on this list.
What did you say?
Magic is not on this list. Surprising. That's a good catch. Who are the 10 players with multiple conference finals appearances by the age of 26? Magic should be on this list.
So yeah.
Magic should be on this list. But Magic is not one of the 10.
I don't understand your list. I don't understand.
I know, right? That's a good call though. Let me check it out. Go ahead. Name there's 10 on my list, so and you got it right. But I'm
Larry,
double checking that.
Larry Bird should be on your list.
Larry Bird is on the list.
Okay. Tim Duncan should be on your list.
Tim Duncan is on the list.
So that's 3. Under the age of 25.
Yeah, Magic should be on this list. Actually, when I'm looking at it, they made it to the. They didn't make it in 80, 83. They made it in 84, 85.
Shaq should be on your list.
Shaq is not on the list. Shaq is not on the list.
Something wrong with your list.
Well, I don't know. No, Shaq. Multiple. He made it with Orlando. Did he go back again before he was with the Lakers? What time? How old? He was 27 when he was with the Lakers. It was before the age of 26. But Magic, yes.
It's a conference finals, right?
Yeah, conference finals. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check. So I agree with Magic should be on the list because they made it. He won it as a rookie, right? 81
Won as a rookie and then went again in 82.
82, 83, 84, 85. Yeah, he should be on this list. I don't know what. Yeah, okay. This list is janky. I got bad info. Well, let me go to Shaq. Let's go to Shaq. I don't think I don't think they made it multiple times. He was 24. The Lakers. No, he was in 2000. He was 26. So
those Orlando teams.
Conference finals. They went to the finals once.
And then the year that the Bulls went to the finals, they beat them
in the conference final.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. I'll give you Shaq and Magic, but they're not on my list. So that makes 12 players there.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you the list. Unless you want to keep guessing. You said Tim Duncan.
Give me the list. I'm curious.
You said Tim Duncan first.
Kareem's got to be on the list, right?
Kareem is on the list.
Okay. Let me keep trying.
Okay.
Bill Russell's on the list.
Bill Russell is not on this list.
Oh, what?
Bill Russell is not on this list.
Really?
Yeah, Bill Russell is not on this list.
Okay. Hakeem's on that list though.
Was he was older than 26 when they went to Hakeem is not on this list. Okay, I'm gonna give up on this list because Hakeem, he went as a rookie, right?
They didn't go to the finals, but they went to the finals in '86. But didn't they go to the conference
beat
finals?
Magic? I want to say they beat Magic they beat Magic when he was a rookie, right?
No. So the team that beat Magic had Ralph Sampson on it. Didn't have Hakeem on it.
He wasn't a rookie that year?
Let me see here. So Magic loses in
84, 85. Yeah, you might be right. 84, 85, 85, 86. So he went one of the early years.
In 81, right? 81 and 86. Lakers can make the championship 80, 82, 83, 84, 85. But what's your list though?
You got Kareem, Gus Williams, 77, 78 or 77. Well, no, 78, 79, 80. Larry Bird, Tim Duncan, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Paul George, Jason Tatum, and Luka Doncic. That's what it's at.
Mm.
That's
Impressive list.
Huh?
That's an impressive list.
All right, man. Let's jump into this NFL topics that we got. How confident are you in Aaron Rodgers staying healthy and returning to form, MVP form this season?
60-40.
60-40, yes, no?
60-40, yes.
He gonna return to in MVP form?
Oh, no. Stay healthy. Stay healthy. MVP form. No, he's never going back to that.
So, I mean, do you want to go through the Jets games? What do you think they're gonna do? You have them winning the division because you got Buffalo sliding. You don't have Tua winning. What do you got the Jets doing?
That 11-6 is about what division winners are typically doing, unless they do something a little bit more extraordinary than that. But 11-6 should get it done.
11-6,
especially in that division.
Oh, listen to you. Listen, especially in that division. What's that supposed to mean?
That means that I don't have a whole lot of confidence in the New England Patriots, and the Buffalo Bills don't understand what a precipitous drop they have taken, losing both of their starting receivers, and Josh Allen is still throwing the ball around. Haven't established a running game, and the defense is depleted.
You don't think Josh Allen throwing the tight ends is going to be good enough for those guys?
No, he didn't do that.
So he can't refine his game, is what you're saying. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Hero ball, run over people, but he's in like his 7th or 8th year, and that just gets old.
Okay, so let's go through your Jets schedule right now. Let's go through your Jets schedule. So Jets here, I got my sticky notes.
Okay.
Week 1 in San Francisco.
L.
Week 2, Tennessee.
W.
New England.
W.
Denver.
W.
Minnesota.
W.
Minnesota Buffalo.
Is that home run or on the road?
No, that's at home.
W.
You got them at 5-1.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Home run on the road.
At Pittsburgh.
It's L.
At New England.
It's W.
Houston in New York.
It's L.
At Arizona.
W.
Indianapolis. Colts.
Home or away?
In New York.
W.
They have a bye. So at the bye, you have them 8-3 at the bye.
Okay.
Seahawks go to New York.
W.
At Miami Dolphins, December 8th.
It's L.
At Jacksonville, December 15th.
W.
You got them at 10-4. Los Angeles Rams go to December 22nd. Los Angeles Rams go to New York.
W.
At Buffalo, December 29th.
That's an L.
Miami Dolphins finish the season. Miami Dolphins in New York.
I'm sorry. What was the date of that game?
It's to be determined. It's the final game of the year, though.
So January sometime. That's a W.
Oh, look at him! Look at him. So you got them at 12-5.
Okay.
Your Jets 12-5. I got the stick. I got the sticky note, fans. So he can't get away.
11, 6, somewhere around there. Yeah.
It is. I don't know if I should hold him to this because it is. I mean, I try to reference Sam Cassell. He not interested in Sam Cassell.
What do you mean, right?
He's not interested in Sam Cassell. He'd rather go with the JJ Redick.
Okay. See, SB, he's trying to get me to turn the show completely off because you're coming in late, and I've been saying for 2 weeks now. I would prefer Sam Cassell.
Let's see what else we got here. Who wins the quarterback job in Pittsburgh, man? Is it a job or does Russell start? I mean, it really shouldn't be a competition, right? Russell should start as quarterback at least the first month, right?
Russell starts unless he's absolutely horrible.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're not expecting to be horrible.
He starts.
Yeah, Boots. I know. Yeah, Boots. I don't see it either. But Cleveland's. I mean, him and Sala. I guess they've been out vacationing together or something.
We just went through the whole list. Where you never told me where you disagreed. Yeah.
Where I disagreed?
Yeah.
This is your prediction. This ain't about what I was picking.
Plus, I thought it was 11-6. I didn't think it was 12-5, but
it's 12. You got them at 12-5. 12-5. I mean, it is May. It is May. In all fairness, it is May. So I mean, this is how high he is on Aaron Rodgers. He got Aaron Rodgers being MVP form this year.
I didn't say.
I mean, I don't know if he's gonna make the season.
I didn't say MVP form. I think CJ Stroud is in MVP form to start the season.
Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, TJ Worth, Tua Tagovailoa, all did not attend OTAs. Who is most critical to their team's success?
Tua Tagovailoa.
Did Micah and CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson?
I'm so sorry. I named the quarterback. Who were you talking about? Some receivers?
Yeah. Receivers, linemen, linebackers.
I was talking about the quarterback of the team. Franchise quarterback at that.
I don't know about franchise. I mean, this gives us. I mean, if they drafted a guy, this gives them.
Keep playing around then.
Huh?
Keep playing around. End up a Gardner Minshew then.
I mean,
keep playing around.
They better not give him $55 million. I know that.
Oh no! Oh, the contract's coming in at over $250 million, Cam. You already know that.
I mean, we might have to go see other.
So
you
saw
other people.
Saw Jared Goff get what was it? Two 20?
Jared Goff been to 2 Super Bowls. Jared Goff have been to 2 Super Bowls. So say what you want to say.
2 Super Bowls.
He played for 2 conference championships. Let me take that back. He played for 2 conference.
Yeah, why don't you walk that back quite a bit with the 2 Super Bowls, homie?
He played for 2 conference championships.
Yeah, walk that back.
Rashid Rice won't be facing any punishment for his nightclub incident, where he told the photographer to come back.
No legal punishment, not any like league punishment. You mean like legal punishment?
Yeah, well, I mean, the league has suspended him already for the race car incident.
Okay, well, that's coming. You already know it's coming.
I mean, I'm just saying.
So let's see, 4 to 6 games.
Which team has the best chance to defend the champions this season? Is it the 49ers, the Lions, Ravens, Bengals, Eagles?
To defend what kind of championship?
To dethrone the Chiefs as champs.
Oh, dethrone the Chiefs as champs. The Philadelphia Eagles have the best chance to do that.
Wow. Okay. Do you agree with Anthony Richardson saying there's nothing wrong with his playing style? He says my shoulder did what it did. I'm not changing my game. Do you agree with this?
Yeah, I'm okay with him. With him saying that. If he wasn't 6'4", 225, then perhaps I would have a problem with it. But I'm okay with him saying it.
I mean, did anybody show him any tapes of Cam Newton?
They probably did and watch Cam Newton run over fools repeatedly left and right.
And show that he was out of the league in 8 years, 10 years.
8, 10, 12? What do you say?
No, would he play 9 years? Would he play 9 years? Cam Newton
played a whole bunch of football, man. Went to a Super Bowl, won an MVP.
I mean, do you don't think he had a shortened career because he was trying to run fools over?
I mean, perhaps, but I mean that that's because he continually tried to do that and never really had a really good throwing game. So hopefully Anthony Richardson can develop a passing game, which Cam Newton was never really able to do.
Yeah, that concerned me. He does have a good offensive. He does have his coach Shane Steichen, who was a good offensive coordinator or quarterback coach, excuse me, for the Chargers. And then, he's been a good quarterback coach. I mean, hopefully he can talk some sense in them, dude. They need to use a running back, and they have a good running back. They have good players. He needs credit to help.
They don't have a good running back. They have a great running back.
Yeah, you need to use your running back. Let him run the damn ball. Pittsburgh selected as a host site for the 2026 NFL draft. Green Bay is going to hold the draft next year. You good with that? You notice that it's all cold cities that they're doing this with, right? It was in Detroit. They're going to Green Bay. Now it's going to be Pittsburgh in April. You notice that? So Seattle might be on the list here. Seattle might get a NFL draft here in a couple of years because it's only cold cities. None of these cities are getting a Super Bowl. You notice that?
I hadn't really noticed the trend other than just teams that have a long lineage within the NFL or be getting it's the draft.
Didn't Kansas City have it last year or a couple of years ago or something? I thought Kansas City had it. Yeah, again. Cold weather towns, bro. Check that. Cleveland. This is a kind of a funny situation. In one of my classes, I had the opportunity, innovation. Forget the name of the class, but it was an innovation class. My idea for the innovation was to see if we can track a ball crossing a goal line. That was my idea. I want to see if I can track an object crossing a line of some sort. When I did a bunch of research, I realized that FIFA already has this technology in action. You know how in tennis, you should know this. In tennis, they have the what's it called when the ball? They're questioning if the ball goes in or out. What's that technology called? If the ball's on the line,
yeah, I don't know the exact name of the technology. It used to be called the NAC cam, but I forget what it's called now.
But they pull up the camera and you can see if the ball hits on the line or it's off the line, right? I mean, how do they do that? They do it by virtual reality. That's what
they can only do it on a hard course. They can't do it on grass or clay.
So you're familiar with what I'm talking about, that technology. Yes. FIFA has something very similar to that, where they're tracking the ball. Kind of looks like a video game, but they have the screen and the ball goes in or out, or if it's offside. I still don't really know what the offsides rule. I don't still get the offsides rule 100%. But nonetheless, FIFA has this technology already in place. I didn't know that. I had no idea about that until I tried to do this experiment. But the NFL, I bring that up to say that the NFL is planning to use optical digital tracking to replace the chain game in the NFL. What's your thoughts on that, Cleveland?
Love it.
Would you be for? I just thought it was.
It always seems very arbitrary when the dude pulls the chain out and it's like, this is exactly 10 yards from where they say no.
But if you watch what they do, they always use the 5-yard mark or the 10-yard mark, and they measure it. So they put the mark at the yard line, and then they stretch it out.
Always seems somewhat subjective.
No, but if you pay attention.
He made it by the length of the chain. He made it by the nose of the football. It's like, what?
Okay, so you're for getting rid of the chain gang and using this technology. You're 100%
that aspect of the game, yeah, like where to start, what happened. I mean, so long as every benchmark they're doing that. Like if it's like all of a sudden it's all the chain gang, and all of a sudden this technology kicks in. Like, no, that doesn't work. Like do it at every interview.
I don't understand what you just said right there. Repeat yourself.
So the chain gang moves, right? So it's always like they're spotting the ball, and then 2nd and 6. It's 3rd and 3, and it's and the chains move with regards to that. So it's always the same distance. So if you just start with 3rd and 4, and then you're doing it, well, that kind of defeats the purpose, right? If you need to be doing it the whole.
Well, process. Yeah, obviously you can't do it for the first. You can't do it. You can't pull it out in the second half of the game.
Yeah, but that's how the chain gang works. They don't pull it out until you ask for it, right? Like, it's
no. Okay, I think I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, they're not using the chain gang to find out if it's 2nd and 6. They will use the chain gang when they find, is it 3rd and 1 or is it 3rd and inches? Like that's when they use the chain gang.
Right.
But so a couple of things here, just as we're talking about it. I'm all for it. I think it's 2021. We have the technology. The technology is there. We should use the technology. I'm all for that. However, if now your quarterback, and I guess you just kind of got to be cognizant of where you are on the field, time, place, everything. If it's 3rd and 3, your quarterback rolls out. How's he going to know where to reach for that first down?
You still have to have
the first down markers,
general vicinity markers. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, how would they know? They're just throwing.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, do you if it's you go up to the booth to see if he got the first down?
No. I don't think it can replace the markers, but the actual measurement of whether you did it or didn't do it. Yeah, for sure. But you have to give me some general idea. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I think that's gonna be tough, man, because now you have this technology, and so the guy on 1st and 10, you don't have no chains over there to say, okay, wide receiver, run to the sticks.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
No, because otherwose you have to light up the field and highlight.
Yeah. We're not all there. I mean, I do think some. You remember the movie Running Man?
Yeah.
Where they had that game, something very similar. It wasn't. They didn't call it football. It was something very similar, but they had where they could track the players and where they were on the field, right? I think the game will be something very similar to that in probably another 10 or 15 years. Especially, I think the way if fans start clamoring from the hard action and hard hitting again, maybe the USFL adopts that first, to where now they're putting on armor, body armor, to where now they can absorb some contact. But then the playing turf is computerized, so where they can sense where they are on the field.
Yeah. I think still visual parameters as to where the first down marker is still a thing, but the absolute precision of it, yeah, bring in the technology.
Yeah, but again, I mean, now just thinking about it. So how are you guys going to know if it's, they're running down and it's they need to get within field goal distance? Well, they do it pretty good anyway. When they get in the field goal distance, they need to get to the 37-yard line.
That's what I'm saying. I'm so cool with the markers, but just bring in this technology to actually assess if it happened or not.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of it's going to be kind of tricky because if you're saying you want to keep the sideline markers so the guys can have an idea of where they are, um, I mean that's still using it and not really getting away from it. These guys are absolute. These guys are absolute clowns on TNT. This is why this show doesn't not going to work on anywhere else. This is right now just what they did. So you heard when Shaq said he hasn't been in Minnesota, or not Shaq. Chuck said he hasn't been in Minnesota. He needs some restaurant, and Anthony Edwards said, "Bring your ass." Remember he said that, or did you watch the game? Anyway, after they beat Dallas, Chuck said, Anthony Edwards or Anthony, I haven't been in Minnesota in 20 years. I need some good restaurants. Ant said, bring your ass. And these guys just now, that's what he said post game. Just now they had bringyouраss.com and they had each Chuck, Kitty, Shaq. I think Chuck was actually in there twice with different ass shots. They had Chuck kissing a donkey. They had Shaq walking around like he had the wedgie. They had Kenny now. Apparently, Kenny was wearing some panties one day, and they caught his ass running to the board, and they saw the panties.
Come on, man!
I'm serious, bro. I'm telling you what happened, and they just showed that. They showed that clip, or they didn't show the clip. They had a picture of Kenny in the panties running to the board, and then Chuck had some different draws on the clanny. You saw that shit. You saw that. You saw that beat. You saw that Boots.
I didn't see it.
But man, they can't do this on NBC. They can't do that type of stuff on NBC. Maybe Amazon. Maybe Amazon can get away with it.
It's the end of an era, man.
Man. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be a sad era too. But yeah, the optical digital tracking, Boots. What you think about the optical digital tracking to replace the chain gain in the NFL? Is that doable? I don't know, man. It just
not doable, man. Unless you're lighting up the field, man. That's what I'm saying. It has to be something on the sidelines that lets you know where 10 yards is.
So how are you going to light up the field? So if he's crossing the 45-yard line, I mean, there can't be LED lights stretching from sideline to sideline at the 45-yard line.
So, and it can't be like every 10 yards, right? So it has to be like. So it has to be something on the sideline. You can't just remove the sideline marker that shows you where 10 yards is. Now, how you evaluate that and assess whether it is that you got the 10 yards, well, that's different. But you can't just all of a sudden just take the marker out of the equation. Like, I don't know where 10 yards is until the thing comes up. Like, no.
Yeah, you're right. It was Chuck did have the BBL. That they gave Chuck the BBL. What you say? I don't think it's possible. Leave some human element to sports. Robots. I mean, it's not gonna be robots.
Instead of the dude pulling the thing and pulling the chain, and he always moves. So like, come on, man. That always looks hokey.
No, but they do. They mark it. They find the mid mark at the yard line, and then they stretch it out from there.
When they start pulling the thing out, you're like, come on, man.
No, dude, you don't
believe it.
You're not watching it. You're not watching it. Okay. They're not always stretching it. They find if it's on a 50-yard line and the guy's at the 47, they put a mark at the 50-yard line and then they stretch it. Okay, the 3 yards they need to go. So it's always a middle mark.
Never ever believe it when they're pulling that thing.
I mean, I'm telling you what happens. I'm telling you how they do it.
Oh, he made it. Oh, he made it by this much. Like, you don't believe that.
But they stretching it out. I'm telling you how it goes down.
But you never believe it. But you never believe it. You're like, whatever. Anyways. And then that's why there was the challenge. Like, oh no, that spot was horrible.
Well, the spot is something different. Now the spot is always questionable. The spot is always questionable. But one thing I do think is pretty accurate. Not surprised how accurate it is when there's a fumble or a turnover and they throw that beanbag. That beanbag always seems to hit the mark. The beanbag is pretty accurate. Like, it's not dead on, obviously. But when they throw that beanbag, notifying it's a turnover and it's going the other direction, that beanbag is pretty spot on. And that amazes me how they get that. They often get that correct. But yes, the spot when the guy goes down at the 50-yard line, and then they put it at the 49.5. Yeah, like, come on.
And then bring the chains out. You're like, oh, they just barely beat. Like,
but I'm okay with the chain. You're not understanding how the chain works. It's the spot.
I understand how the chain works.
You don't understand how it works. I keep trying to tell you, Cleveland. If it's at 50, they mark it at the 5-yard line, and then they say, okay, here's our mark. We're going to mark it at the front edge of this 5-yard, whatever, the 35, 45, 50 yard, whatever it is, that 5-yard line. Now we're going to take it out there on the field, mark it at the 5-yard line, and then stretch it out. So I'm okay with it being accurate that way, but it's the spot. And you're right. To your point, the guy is eyeballing from 30 yards away where the ref foot is to where it is. He is eyeballing that. But, give or take a few centimeters here and there is pretty accurate. It is pretty. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. The how they use this new technology to infuse into the game. But in school, I was trying to come up with this thing, and once I realized that there was already technology, I just gave up on it. I didn't know FIFA had this technology already in activation. But I was thinking that same thing that tennis has, where the ball's in or out, like, and there's no sensors in that tennis ball, but it's virtual reality how they're using it. So
yeah, and it's on the courts to the point that for the Australian Open and the U.S. Open, they don't even have linesmen anymore.
Really?
No.
So it's so on point. I mean, that's technology. That's that virtual reality that they're dropping in there. And I was like, okay, yeah, they can use that. So their technology just X'd out somebody's job. Huh?
They still have a chair umpire, but yeah, there's no need for linesmen anymore because it's either in or out every ball.
Gotcha. All right, Cleveland. Let's talk about this week in history, man. As you know, fans, we have our numbers game at the beginning of the show. This segment of the show, we look at this week in history. Just a shout out to some of those who our forefathers and what has happened in this country before we came here. Most of this is before us. Just kind of look back at history, give a shout out, and remember some of the things that happened before us. Cleveland, 5/21, 1862. Mary Patterson became the first African-American woman to earn a master's degree upon graduation from Oberlin College. 1862. 5/21, 1970. Alabama Governor John Malcolm Patterson declares martial law in attempt to restore order after race riots break out. 1970. What's this here? The Fever game. Oh yeah. Cleveland ain't watching no WNBA, bro. I should have asked him about that earlier. Yeah, Cleveland ain't watching the WNBA, man. I tried to get him there earlier. He's not interested in Caitlin.
It's catching fire, but I'm not quite at that point where I'm watching like regular season games just yet.
He ain't watching Caitlin. I mean, what's the score?
Highlights.
What's the score, Boots? Is Caitlin gonna get their first W? Like, they're 0-4. I watched the game Monday night, and it was a close game.
You didn't watch the game, Cam.
I did watch the game.
Come on,
I watched Caitlin and the Suns, man. Monday night.
Don't try and
No, Monday night I watched the game. Caitlin twisted her ankle or something, came back in the game, went and got it taped up. I mean, so I put it. It was on TV. I put it like that. It was on TV.
I'm about to say, our fans know.
5/22, 1959. Benjamin O. Davis Jr. becomes first African American general in the U.S. Air Force. Oh, 12 seconds to go. Fever losing with the ball. They got a chance to. They got a chance to tie. Let us know how it goes, Boots.
Yeah, keep us informed with that.
It's a close one. 523, 1966, first African American to receive an Emmy. Best, my goodness. Oh, that's Bill Cosby. First African American to receive an Emmy for Best Actor in a Dramatic Series. That was Bill Cosby, 1966. 523, 1900. Sergeant William H. Carney awarded Congressional Medal of Honor for his bravery in the Battle of Fort Wagner Morris Island, becomes first black soldier to receive a coveted award. 525, 1975. Al Addles coaches team, the Golden State Warriors, to victory in the NBA Finals against the Washington Bullets. Bullets was tough back in the day. Cleveland, 522, 1985. Pete Rose scores his 2,108th run, passing who as National League scoring leader? National League run scoring leader, I should say. Who'd he pass? Hank Aaron is who he passed.
Okay.
522, 1993. Riddick Bowe TKO's Jesse Ferguson in 2 rounds, become the heavyweight boxing champion. 525, 1965. Muhammad Ali KO Sonny Liston with what became known as the Phantom Punch because few people at the event saw it. Another trivia question for you, Cleveland. This one is accurate. Name the top 10 Major League Baseball Grand Slam leaders.
Grand Slam leaders.
Okay, so let's not go top 10. Can you name the top 3 Major League Baseball Grand Slam leaders? Who hit the most Grand Slams in Major League history? Top 3.
Barry Bonds.
No, here we go. Barry Bonds ain't even on the list.
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth is not on this list.
King Griffey Jr.
Oh, here, come on, cut it out. And okay, I'll tell you the list. I'll tell you the list. This surprised me. What his name? A-Rod? Alex Rodriguez?
Okay.
He leads the league in Grand Slams, 25. Lou Gehrig hit 23. Manny Ramirez hit 21.
Big Flossie, my guy.
Eddie Murray had 19. Willie McCovey had 18. Robin Ventura had 18. Jesse Fox, is it? Jimmy Fox, Carlos Lee tied for 17. Ted Williams hit 17. Hank Aaron hit 16. No Ortiz, Boots.
That just goes to show you what an obscure, kind of weird, kind of a list that is.
Yeah, it was kind of. I think Robin Ventura brought this up, but all right, here's one that you should get a little easier. NBA playoff leading scorers. Can you name the top 5? You should be able to name the top 5. You should be able to name top 10. I got 10 of them, but you should be able to name the top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah, NBA playoff leaders, scoring leaders.
The King.
Who's that?
LeBron James.
Oh, LeBron James is on the list.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem is 3rd.
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan is number 6.
What?
Tim Duncan is number 6.
He's not in the top 5?
No. Here's somebody helping you out.
Mike Jordan.
Number 2.
Kobe Bean.
Number 4.
So I got Jordan, Kobe Bean, Kareem,
LeBron.
So I'm missing one. Okay.
This is one list that Wilt is not on. Wilt is not on this list.
Steph Curry's on
Curry is not on this list.
Steph Curry's not on that list?
Curry's not on this list.
Okay. 5. I can get this. 5. I can get
so
this.
you got
I got 4 of the 5. I can get
you got
this.
LeBron, you got Jordan, you said Kareem, Kobe Bean, and you got Tim as number 6.
Tim is number 6. Okay. This 5. This 5. I'm gonna have to go Bill Russell, man. Just on volume.
Bill Russell not on this list. He is not on this list, Boots.
I'm gonna have to go still just on volume.
I was surprised he is not on this list. He mentioned it earlier. He mentioned it here. This is not a list that Wood is on.
Well, damn.
All right, you got one more. You got one more.
Okay,
You got one more before I have to give you the list.
I'm gonna have to go
Name
with
the NBA playoff leading scorer. Playoff leading scorers. NBA. You have to go who?
The Flash.
Flash.
D-Wade. D-Wade.
No, come on, man. He had one killer playoff series. No, that's what he just said, Boots. No, he's not on the list. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kareem, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal,
Okay.
Tim Duncan, Kevin Durant, Karl Malone, Jerry West, Tony Parker.
Tony Parker. Yeah.
Tony Parker. Yes. Yeah, Tony Parker. Yeah, I mean, clearly he's number 10. But yeah, he had at least 3 series years in the playoffs where he was killer. Dwayne Wade had that one season where 2006 where he just
played for the championship 5 times.
Who? Parker? But but he was killer the 1 year though. I mean, he wasn't he
was killer a couple of years. But he played for the championship.
He wasn't that, huh?
But he played for the championship 5 times.
Yeah, but he didn't dominate but that 1 year. You know what I'm saying?
That 1 year, the NBA Finals MVP.
Yeah, I mean, he was solid. Don't get me wrong. I'm not downgrading what Wade did, but that 1 year, 2006, he was killer. Like he was on a pace. It wasn't that the rest of his playoff series, right? Because he played with LeBron, so it wasn't.
But he had a whole bunch of them. This was the plan. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Well, give us an update. Boots. Who won the game? Did Caitlin win the game, or did the Storm finish him off?
I'm gonna assume Caitlin is still looking for her first victory here in the WNBA.
I mean, it was a 2-point game, 3-point game a second ago.
The Storm are really good though. So,
thoughts on Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Kyle Busch fight after the All-Star race?
Love it.
We don't really see a lot of fights in auto racing no more. I mean,
not since Tony Stewart, retired. Because he used to get into it with folks.
But I'm just saying, I mean, what's that been? That's been 15, 20 years.
Well, like 8.
Okay. I mean, we don't see no fights. We don't see many fights in the old days, man. These cats used to be waiting for you at the. As soon as you come back around, they used to be waiting on you at the circle.
They'll throw helmets at you, and then feel like, what's up? Yeah.
They used to get after it, man. The whole pit crew be right there behind them, man. These guys, because they racing for money. I guess that's what there's so much more money in it now. These guys ain't scraping for dimes anymore. But yeah, these cats used to get after. Man, do you know? At these big time races, like oftentimes the big time races on a Sunday, but that Thursday, Friday of a race, like you can get your own hoopty that you've been working on all week long and get out there and race. You know that? Were you aware of that?
I wasn't aware that this random cars could come on
You
the
can get
the
you can
track
get
and
your
ride.
own you can get your own hoopty and get out there and race. You know, you pay a little bit of money, and everybody paid a little, paid a little money, and they can race for the pot. And so, yeah, that's how auto racing started. So they give everybody who doesn't have the sponsorships and all the gearheads a chance to still be active. That's why there be so many people there all weekend long, because your uncle, it might be your uncle, your grandfather, and your dad working on a car. Somebody got to race, somebody got to drive the car, but then they bring in their whole family. It's a whole family event, right? So now we got 30, 40, 50 families out here at the park, at the yard, right? They got to bring the camper because everybody need a place to sleep. You get all 6 of them in the camper and everything. It'd be a whole party, but that's why, because in that Thursday, Friday event, they get a chance to get out there on the track and race their car that they've been working on. It's just beyond me. How you spend all that money? I'd be mad as hell if I don't worked on this car Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. I go out there and race it and blow an engine. I'm not doing that next week. I'm not getting out there next week and trying to rebuild the motor to get out there and race again. Damn that, man. But these guys will rebuild that motor, get some new tires, tighten up the lug nuts and change the muffler and change the exhaust pipe and the catalytic converter and get out there and do it all again. Damn that, bro. I can't get out there every week blowing my engine, man. I'm just racing to blow my engine. I'm good.
It's not cheap and it's time consuming. It's both.
Yeah. Okay. Foul to prevent her from shooting a 3, made both free throws in Seattle inbound. Okay. Thanks for the update, Chief.
You're looking.
But yeah, that adds to the that's why there'd be so many people out there, because it's not just the race fans, but it's people get a chance to race their own cars. I found that pretty interesting when I went to a NASCAR event some years ago. We just talked about Kalen Clark. Give you guys an update. Our guy Boots did. Fever won the review. Inbounds, lost it for a jump ball. Seattle won jump ball. Okay, made the free throw. Fever still winless. So, appreciate the update, Boots. Good looking out to you, big dog. Alexander Usyk, we talked about a little bit on Sunday. Defeats Tyson Fury, become the first undisputed heavyweight champion.
Beating Tyson Fury's ass.
Oh, you saw that, huh?
Knocking all around the ring.
Yeah, I told you, knocked him into the ropes.
Knocked his ass out.
He was close, but Tyson Fury, man, is a big dude, man. So Alexander Usyk defeats Tyson Fury to become the first undisputed heavyweight champion since Lennox Lewis. He is now the WBC, WBO, IBF, WBA, and the lineal champ, undisputed. So they'll fight again. October, what are we in? It's May 26th. They'll fight again November, December for this belt. Tyson Fury reportedly made $150 million in that fight, which is bananas. They're paying big dollars, Saudi Arabia, to having fights over there. That's big. That's bananas. And there's a rematch clause. So in 2 fights, he's gonna make somewhere upwards of $200 million. Bananas. That's crazy. We still have the coming on the docket. We got Tank Davis fighting Frank Martin here in a couple of weeks in Las Vegas on the 22nd, less than a month, 15th of June. David Benavidez on the fight card. Actually, there's a press conference with Benavidez tomorrow, I believe. He also was going to be in Miami doing his what do they call it? His little warm up, little preview for him, show him in action, so people can see what kind of shape he's in before he gets in the fight, before he gets on his way to Vegas. Apparently he's training in Miami. Shakur Stevenson, he's going to be fighting Armenian Artel Horatunian July 6th in Newark. So that's another fight that we have looking forward to. Keyshawn Davis is on that fight card as well, and then we got Jaron Boots Ennis fighting. I think it's the 15th of July, fighting in Philadelphia. So that's a couple fights to look forward to.
Against John Nelson. Is that who he's fighting there?
He's fighting Cody Crawley, undefeated, who's Boots Ennis is 31-0. Cody Crawley is 22-0. And they're fighting for the IBF World Welterweight Championship in Philly.
Crawley, okay.
22-0, Cody Crawley.
Okay, well.
Cody said get it right.
Did he?
What's your thoughts on Jaden Rashada suing Florida head coach and a booster for failed NIL deal? They promised him a bunch of money. He didn't get the money, and they suing him. What's your thoughts on this situation?
Yeah, it's got to be fluid, man. I'm sure he signed something to the equivalent, like, yeah, that's what we're giving you, and then all of a sudden it didn't work out that way, and he was like, wait, what?
You think they made him sign something? You think he signed something saying
they absolutely have to sign NIL deals? I mean, what it was like, just like word of mouth handshake agreement?
Handshake agreement, yeah.
No.
If they actually had him sign something, oh boy, this is more corrupt than we thought, isn't it? If they actually made him sign something,
so let me get this straight. You think that they just said, once you come here, we're going to give you this? We're
going to take care of you on the tunes of, yes, here's our last player. We gave him.
Come here, and I promise you, I'll give this to you. No,
because now if they signed something and didn't pay him, I mean, this is a legit lawsuit.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, Cleveland. So the player, hypothetically, they did make him sign something. If he didn't sign something, and they said, okay, you're going to be competing for our quarterback spot, right? He gets there and somebody beats him out of the quarterback position. Did the coaches sign something saying that he's going to be the starter?
No, just saying that we'll give you this much money to come here. Otherwise, they won't be able to recruit ever, because everyone that goes there is like, okay, well, are you actually going to give me what you said you were going to give me? I'm not sure. It's this question mark. And you can't compete with Texas A&M. You can't compete with Texas. You can't compete with Alabama if it's like the players don't really believe you're actually going to give me the money that you said you were going to give me.
It's a bad look. It's a bad look on the school. Obviously, him suing them is
now here's the difference. If the school said, we'll give you this much money, and potentially with these other incentives, you can make this much money. Oh, okay. That's different. But if it's like $5 million to come here, and you get there and it's like 500,000, it's like, what are we talking about?
Or we're working on the other, we're working on the arrest, and this is the potential. You can potentially make this with the right boosters.
So many 5-star athletes, like, I was going to go to that school, but then the NIL deal fell through.
I mean, I'm with you. I'd be amazed if they actually put that on paper, that we're going to pay you $1.5 million, and then when he got there, they gave him.
But Cam, that's a question that I'm asking you. How could they not put it on paper for someone to be committed to doing what it is that they're doing? Otherwise, it's just a handshake agreement.
And I think I would suspect it would be a handshake agreement, because
you think NIL deals are handshake agreements
between the school and the player? Absolutely. Between the booster and the player, maybe not so much. That's more of a contract. But between the school and the player, because now if they have that actually on paper, this player shows that Rashada shows that to his receiver. His receiver is going to say, I need this amount of money, or I need somewhere in this ballpark. What do you mean? No. Why not? Why would what is preventing him to saying I want that money?
Because he didn't sign that kind of NIL deal
to begin with.
Go sign your own NIL deal.
Fair enough. I mean, fair enough. I mean, yeah. After school, now that there's a transfer portal, that receiver is going to look for that deal.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Now, if the boosters are doing this, yeah, that's more of a contract. That would be more of a contract deal. But it's a bad look for It's a bad look for Florida. It's a terrible.
It's a horrible look for Florida, and it's going to completely
the head coach
decimate their recruiting. I mean, imagine if Caleb followed his coach to SC with a guarantee of $4.5 million, which is what he made in NIL money, and all of a sudden they only gave him like 10% of that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a terrible look. Now, I mean, there's a little bit more trust there because he was the coach with them at Oklahoma, so there's a little bit more trust involved there. But yeah, if they shafted him like that, yeah, that's a big problem. But yeah, now the NIL deal, all the players can do that. Yeah, that's I mean, nobody's gonna go there. No, so Florida's recruiting is gonna look pretty shabby for the next several years until they make do. I mean, they're gonna have to make do with everybody on their team, I would suspect. But unless they're paying up front dollars, or they're gonna have to do something pretty dramatic to kind of clear this off their plate, right?
Especially if this plays itself out and it looks exactly the way the player is saying. They said this, and then this happened, and then that person decided they didn't want to do it anymore, so they didn't give him no. It's too many hands involved. It's too many, chains of command, so to speak. Like this person, and this person, and this person, and then I got nothing. No.
Yeah, it's gonna be
especially in the SEC, Cam, because all the other schools are like on a whole other page of it. All the other schools are like, "Come get your check, man!" like
right, exactly. We got this waiting for you, right?
A&M and Alabama and Texas are coming, man. I mean, I'm sorry, Texas is coming this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the other school is coming?
Yeah, Texas is there this.
They weren't there last year.
Texas,
and the other big school.
Yeah, I mean, either way, like you say, they're all saying, "Come on!"
It's like no, they all have blank checkbooks open, man. You tell me what the number is. As long as it's not like $10 million, we'll sign it.
Yeah, man, that's wild. Yeah, it's a new new date and era, right? Oklahoma's coming to the SEC.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a wild. It's a new day and era, buddy, in college football. That's crazy. Cleveland, this is our third week in a row. I think this might be a benchmark, man, for the show. Actually, the third week in a row that we're gonna have a Mariners Minute. Before we get to the Mariners Minute, let's give a little Shohei round of applause for Shohei Ohtani. Right now, leading the major league in
I don't recall the Shohei moment, Kim. What is the Shohei moment all about? Why do we have the Shohei moment when he does?
Well, we just acknowledge the best player. We just acknowledge the best player in baseball. Why are you talking over me, trying to ruin my moment, man?
It's very arbitrary with regards to whether he's the best player in baseball or not.
There's no argument with anybody but you. Again,
there's argument with people around baseball as to who the best player in baseball is right now.
I mean, what I'm trying to give the guy his statistical anomalies, and then so this dude's talking over me. Right now, he's leading the league in batting 300. He's batting over 300. He has 69 hits. That leads the league. 39 runs. That's actually fourth in the league, Cleveland. RBIs, he has 34. That's actually 11. So he's a little down. He came down from I think he was third or fourth.
Numbers that actually are not leading numbers at all.
home run. He leads. He's number 5 in home runs at 13. He's just a few off the pace. Okay, he is his slugging. He leads the league at 655. On base percentage, he's number 4 with 425.
I'm so sorry. So
Second
he
in
leads
doubles.
the league in slugging percentage and possibly batting average, but you don't even actually know what his batting average is.
His batting average 356.
And all the other statistics that you just named me, he's in the top 10.
He leads the league in hits. He leads the league in runs. Cleavon, did you hear that? He leads the hits at 69. Who's better than him?
It's gross, man.
Okay, he's number 2 in doubles. Cleavon at 17. Okay. On base percentage, he's number 4. Okay,
just making up your own numbers as you go along. That's fine.
Here you go. You got a fan base. Marin and the Cubs. See, the Marin and the Cubs mirror each other. 27-23 records. 1 run differential. I mean, you trying, Boots. You trying to help him out, Boots. But I'm gonna give him his chance. This is 3 weeks in a row. We do the Mariners Minute, fans. The Mariners are doing their best to keep the Metro League from taking over the T-Mobile Stadium. He's doing his best. Talk to us about the Mariners, Cleveland. Go ahead. The Mariners right now, they lost. So they lost today. They had 2 games up on the Yankees. That was about the best thing they did all season, is win those back games against the Yanks. 27-23 right now, Cleveland. Go ahead. 6-5 or excuse me. What is it? 6-11 or 6-5? Their last 11 games. They're leading. They are leading the division.
So much. I'll take it from here, Playboy.
Yeah.
The Seattle Mariners have the best pitching staff in the league still. They have been scoring more runs.
You sure about that?
I'm 100% sure they have the best pitching staff in the league. Yes. They have won 2 of the last 3 from the Yankees, who had won 7 straight before that. So a battle of division leaders going at it. And they'll be.
You don't get to say that very often about the Mariners, but okay, I'm sorry.
Sure. And so going forward, they win this game tomorrow. I mean, it'd be 3 from 4 from the Yankees, and then going into Washington before they come back home. So, so long as they take care of business and they can score, 3 to 4 runs, they're competitive in every game, and we'll see if they can acquire a big bat after the trade deadline, and hopefully things go positive from there.
Will they be buyers at the trade deadline?
I'm crossing my fingers they're buyers. This pitching staff is just way too good to just go to waste.
What's your GM say? He's only counting on winning.
His GM is dealing with a bunch of cheap owners, as we have talked about on numerous occasions on this show, which is unfortunate. So his hands may be tied to a certain extent with regards to what type of bat he can go out and get, but hopefully the record reflects that, it's kind of a now or never kind of situation or scenario, and they do the right thing.
Here's a key question, fans. How many games have you been to this season, Cleveland?
I've been to 3 so far.
Oh, you did go down here.
It's cold here, Cam, until like July, man.
I mean, don't you guys got a retractable roof? Close the roof, turn the heat on.
They only close it when it's raining. Otherwise, it's just cold.
They're just playing baseball in 45-degree weather.
Bro, it's right off of Puget Sound. It's cold.
I know where it's at. I mean, at least you get a nice view over into Puget Sound.
It's a magnificent view in every direction that you look, but it's cold.
Not every direction. Not every direction. I mean, if you look to the east, you guys are looking at the back of the stadium and the train tracks. Not every view gives you a good.
No. To the east, you get the Bellevue skyline. If you look to the north,
you can't see the Bellevue skyline from.
No. If you look to the north, you get downtown. If you look to the west, you get Puget Sound. Yeah. To the south is where you don't really get anything. To the east, you're all right. But you're probably all twisted around being down there in Alabama and stuff. Don't remember how the stadium really actually looks. So
I mean, how are the chocolate crickets?
Man? I don't have none of them, so I don't know.
I mean, that's a delicacy, man. That's what everybody knows to go to the stadium for. The chocolate cricket. You don't participate. You don't partake. What do they got this year? Do they got caramel caterpillars?
Well, they have Ivers, they have barbecue,
They don't got no blue moon. I tell you that they don't got blue moon up there
they sure don't. Because
with the chow chow, with the relish based chow chow. They don't got the blue moon.
Chum chum is not popular up here.
But they don't have. I mean, you should give them the caramel caterpillars. See how that goes over. So you guys will eat anything up there. They have to be an attraction. Go to the Mariners games, right? He don't like me talking about his T-Mobile Arena. I'm a T-Mobile Stadium. I'm surprised you've been there 3 times already. I'm surprised by that. You surprised me with that one. Well, thank you for the Mariners Minute, man. I don't know if we're gonna be doing how many more times we'll do that this year because this is 3 weeks in a row. I'm surprised.
Well, I'm hoping we don't have to do that Shohei thing unless he's in the top 5 in the categories that you're mentioning. Otherwise, you're just throwing out statistics of his whole, regular season, which the fans don't need to hear that. I believe they've chimed in and said that. Oh wait, I just got a text. Like we don't need to hear all that unless he's top 10 or top 5. So yeah. Can you get your stats a little bit clearer before we get into the Shohei sweepstakes? The gambler.
Now they called him a gambler. Oh, that's a low blow.
What's his nickname? Kenny Rogers.
That's a low blow right there. I think he's been exonerated.
I think his name is Kenny Rogers.
He's been exonerated, and you know that. I think he's been exonerated, and you know that. That's a low blow.
You know his walk-up song, right?
Oh boy! Now he done gave him a walk-up song. What's his walk-up song?
It's the gambler.
Oh boy, you go. That's a low blow, man. He's been exonerated. I don't know why you don't want to take the evidence that's been put in front of you.
When they run.
Oh, this guy.
That's his walk-up song.
The fans, I want to thank you for dealing with this dude tonight on week 293 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man Cam. I got Cleveland, the hater up there in the Northwest, hating on Shohei. He hating on Shohei. He gave him a walk-up song tonight. Oh, that's pretty cool. But we're going to continue to update you guys on the best player in baseball, on Major League Baseball, and it's his achievements throughout the season. We're going to keep that going.
Okay.
And the Mariners.
And if you want to do that, can you put him a comparison, side by side with Juan Soto's numbers?
I mean, is Juan Soto even in this category? You better be happy this dude ain't pitching.
Ronald Acuna Jr. I mean, what I'm saying, can you put him inside, side by side with some of the actual best players in baseball, just not who you're familiar with from your days in Southern California back in the day.
Well, I tell you that the hate is real, fans. The hate is real. Fans, I want to thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. Give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause, fans. Don't listen to this hater. Fans, each and every day, each and every week, we give you the numbers game at the beginning of the show. We give you our This Week in History segment just to give you guys a look back at the things that happened in history. And then I like to leave you guys with a quote to help motivate you guys throughout the week and carry you on. This week, the quote we're using is, "Winning is not everything, Cleveland, but making an effort to win is." Winning is not everything, but making the effort to win is. That's from legendary head coach Vince Lombardi. So you got to keep trying. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but if you try for perfection, that's when you really reach success. That's my summary of that quote. So, fans, thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Thank you, Boots. Thank you, Troy, for chiming in. Thank you, SB, for tuning in. All you guys, tell a friend about the Voice of the Fans podcast. We're here every week. If you don't catch the show on Voice of the Fans on YouTube or Voice of the Fans on HMB Media, make sure you guys catch us on Spotify, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can watch it on the go. We do the show every week. On Sundays we have our condensed version. We just a quick show to wet your palate. But we thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Let's give Cleveland a round of applause for being on the show. Next week, fans, the NBA season continues, so we'll be heavy on the NBA season. We'll be talking about the NFL offseason again next week. And what you guys want to know about the show, you can reach me at _ voice of the fans, at _ voice of the fans on Twitter. You got some comments, complaints, feedback. Let me know what you guys think about the show. Also, I want to know, to you, those of you guys still with us, how do you consume the show? Do you watch it on YouTube? Do you watch it on Spotify, tuned in, LinkedIn, or Spotify, tuned in, or Google Podcasts? How do you consume the show? Hit me up at _ voice of the fans on Twitter, at _ voice of the fans on Twitter. Cleveland, how can I find you?
At Clevie Wonder on Twitter, at Cleavon Still on Instagram, at Clevie Wonder on TikTok.
Thank you guys again for tuning into the show. As always, thank you for making our voice your choice.